The Falls Count Everywhere podcast would like to mention our friends at the following. For the most intriguing wrestling stories and info on independent shows in multiple regions, nobody does it like We Talk Wrestling. Subscribe to Facebook's #1 interactive community for professional wrestling today. Pro wrestling on Tuesdays are a blast with the Wrestle Talk podcast. Join the entire crew every Tuesday at 7 p.m. as they bring their takes on the major circuits, showcase interviews with various indie stars, and news on the #1 fantasy wrestling promotion, the FWWC. Visit them at facebook.com/WrestleTalkPodcast and at WrestleTalkCast on YouTube and X.
All of us here show appreciation and love to our first responders, military, and volunteers that help our nation as well as protect and serve us every day. Thank you for all you do.
Get ready for episode number 153 of the Falls Count Everywhere podcast, as we welcome the longtime ring veteran with a career spanning 6 decades and has numerous accolades that include being a 4-time Wrestling Hall of Famer. The Rolls Royce of Wrestling, Rock Riddle.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? The show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? It is that time of the week. Yes, it is big time party time. And if my...
I didn't even have the lights go. Hold on.
You forgot to have the lights going. It's okay. I've been trying to get the show shared out because we got a big night here for you with episode number 153 of the Falls Count Everywhere podcast. Of course, I am Rough Cut Rick Ruby here. Of course, on the left, to the right, of course, the Gem Cena Mouse Zmiz. And Z, man, what a big weekend we're going to be talking about on our other part of the show here. But let's just say that WWE wrapped it up in a good way.
Yes, I couldn't find my shirt, my all ego shirt, so I could come dripping in my greatness, because I was marking out like the best of us could, being a fan again and watching professional wrestling tonight as old Ethan Page. Yes. That's what I'm talking about.
Exactly. And so Ethan Page doing the thing, man. And we'll talk about that. And as far as everything else goes, man, we just got quite a bit going on with events coming up. And, I have my slides. I'm going to see if I got my slides. See if I got my slides here. I might have them.
Hey, look, the wife is here. Hi.
Yeah, the wife's there. Oh, hello,
Mr.
yeah, Herb's here. Yeah, Herb's here. Good evening, Herb. Good to see you. And
Mr. Tyler Cooley.
Yeah, and Tyler Cooley's here. Yeah. So, like I said, guys, if you get a chance, share the show. No matter where we're at. Of course, we're on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch at Falls Count Everywhere, and of course X at FCE Podcast. And I know that those X followers are going to be hitting us good later throughout the show, but you're going to be missing the best part of that. In fact, I'm not going to delay any further here because we got a big weekend ourselves, and we'll recap that here in a while. Of course, us going to down to High Mania 2 or Scare Nation 2 down at Paragould, Arkansas, and a big event Friday night for Inhumane Championship Wrestling hosting that event. Of course, EC3, the NWA World Heavyweight Champion, will be there. Heath, or formerly known as Heath.
My favorite dad.
Yeah, he'll be down there. As far as I will be down there too, and we're going to kind of recap on some of those matches. That's pretty much anything that's going on, and of course, we're going to be doing our live broadcast down there on Saturday, which will be at noon, Saturday, July 13th, and then. So we're going to have a big weekend, which means that we're actually going to take next Sunday off on the 14th. So we got a lot going on here, Z. So it's like we're not gonna burn our candle. We're just gonna burn one end of the candle.
Yeah,
we're not
just
gonna
burn
burn both ends.
Just one end.
Just one end. Yeah, that's all we need, man. That is all we need.
I mean, I got a packed month, so don't feel bad.
Oh my gosh,
I'm pretty excited for it.
Yeah, absolutely. So. Without any further ado, we're going to actually bring our guest right on here tonight. We're not going to delay any further. We're going to talk about all that other major wrestling stuff afterwards. But our featured guest is here in our studio now. We're not going to make him wait any longer. Of course, a 4-time Wrestling Hall of Famer. His career spans into 6 decades, not in just in wrestling, but also he's also on the entertainment side in Hollywood for television, movies, everything. And just a lot, man, I'm just really excited to talk about all of that. So put those hands together, everybody, for the one and only Rock Riddle.
And the gag himself. Yeah.
Hey, Rock, how you doing?
July 12, 1973. That's the birth date of Mr. Wonderful, the original Mr. Wonderful Rock Riddle. I don't know where you get this 6-decade stuff. I've got a birthday coming up, and if you figure it out, 1973, you'll figure out how old I am. But don't tell anyone, because I don't look that old anyway.
No.
I was going to be nice to you, and you come on and you insult me right away. I have people who ask me, they say, Rock Riddle, I just saw something on the internet. I said, well, that's got to be true then. But I saw something that in this year, and they give the year, you actually wrestled. I said, how did I wrestle when I was 2 years old? That's obviously a lie.
I mean, unless they're pulling microfiche from the library and showing this on
my God.
I mean, that's
see,
that's the only thing that's kind of hurting on that or those index cards or the Encyclopedia Britannicas, something like that.
I have no idea what you're talking about. It sounds like listening to my parents when I was a little kid.
Right.
So you're obviously concerned about your age, and you want to make me seem older so that you don't feel so bad about being older than me.
Yes.
Actually, I turned 62 about a few months ago, so I'm looking good myself. So
you're looking good. Was that what you just said?
I like to tell myself that, daily affirmations, they kind of usually help.
Hey, when I get to be your age, I sure hope I look a lot better than you. I'm sure I will. I mean, it's okay. You don't have to look good. You're like married and stuff, right?
Yes. My hair days are behind me, so anybody that's got a decent set of hair is going to definitely look better than me anyway. So,
if only I could turn my head sideways and show this, but you see, I have the earphones tied in to the back of my hair so that it won't be pulling down on me, but the hair is down like to here. Hulk Hogan hates me, right?
Doesn't Hulk Hogan?
I got to find out why.
Yeah, why?
He says, Rock Riddle, I hate you. I hate you. Your hair. And I said, but Terry, it's so difficult to maintain. I mean, you remember, don't you? Boom.
Nice.
Oh my! To be a fly on the wall on that comment when he was there. I wouldn't be able to keep a straight face just like now.
Well, you see, when you do jokes, you have to keep a straight face, otherwise it's not funny.
That's why I can't be a comedian, because I laugh at my own stuff, and it's half the time it's dumb anyway. So
all of mine is. People say, Rock, that's not funny. That's horrible. That's cruel. I said, no, you don't understand. To me, it's funny. I don't care what anybody else thinks.
That's right. I mean,
It's a fair way to live.
Yep.
Yeah.
Unless they're paying you to do a good joke, then you can tell all the jokes you want.
All right. Do you have a bunch of questions for me, or should I just
Oh my gosh.
begin? I can.
Yeah. I mean, we got quite we've got quite the list here for you. At least I know that we compiled a good list together. But like I said, I've seen you on other appearances on other shows, and we talked about this just briefly in the green room and how you were on friends with Briscoe and Bradshaw.
Yep.
And for those who are not familiar with it, I like to kind of get kind of recap on not exactly, because if I understand this right, you taught yourself how to wrestle.
I did.
Okay, so that's interesting. So
I'm the
so
only.
the interesting
Wait, hold your thought. I'm the only, because this is going to be brilliant, like most of everything I say. I'm the only professional wrestler I know of who did not have someone break them into the business, train them. I trained myself. That's why my stuff is different. And a hint to the young guys out there, you don't want to be another cookie cutter wrestler doing the same things that all the other cookie cutter wrestlers do. No, you want to be unique. You want to have personality and charisma and to be able to touch the audience. Stand them up. 17,000 plus people. You and I are in the ring. We stand them up. We bring them to the edge of the ring. We back them up, sit them back down in their seats at will. That's
right.
Is professional wrestling. That is the ultimate power. Nick Bockwinkel said it. He says professional wrestling is much more addictive than heroin.
I would agree with that.
I would agree with that. Considering I'll never touch heroin, but
why would anyone?
Well,
to escape reality. Wait a minute. Reality is something wonderful. But it's full of, life is tough and then you die. No, life is full of challenges, which is part of life. And you learn and you experience, unless you do drugs, and then you avoid everything and you just completely wasted another life on the planet. So cut it out. Quit doing drugs. Get high on the thing that will make you the highest of anything that exists. And that's life. Get high on life. Would you like to know the secret of life? What is the secret of life, Rock?
What's the secret of life, Rock?
To live.
Oh shit.
Which means doing things.
Hey, look at all the bodies that are walking around. They're not alive. Look at the people with their eyes open. They don't see. They don't think for themselves. Other people think for them. Well, the ruling elite's sort of taking over. Well, yeah, because people don't have anything up here of their own. And it's like, give me something to believe in. I'll follow it like a religion. Maybe it could be a religion. What? I could wear an old shoe on my head? And then we would hate people who don't wear old shoes on their head. Oh, this is brilliant. That would be my religion. But I just can't do it.
Oh my God.
Here's my impression of people.
Well, some are, yes.
Most are.
If they flock toward one way, they're going to follow. It's either you can be a leader or you can be a follower, or do something to change. So you've got to try to make something. Especially in this business, I think you have to be a leader in this industry. At least I think so. Because you're the one that's controlling your own destiny as far as what you try to do in this business, right?
As far as what you do in this business, not try. We do not try. We either do or we do not.
Okay, so attempt.
I bet you've never heard that before.
Yeah, what? I don't know. Why do some events in the Olympics they give you three attempts to see if you can make it, like high jump and pole vault, and I don't know. I'm going off tangent because they're coming upon the Summer Olympics here in the month, so I know I'm going to be seeing all of that because I'll watch all of it. So bear with me for going off the grid for a bit, but I'm going to get back to where that's amazing how you trained yourself.
Thank you.
because before I actually did go to school, the only thing I really trained myself on is bumping. And that's all I really trained myself on. And that was on a 2-inch polyurethane foam mattress, or like a sheet that I laid on the grass in my yard taking back bumps. So that was that was kind of rough. Of course, I was playing football too, along top of wrestling, amateur mat style. So, but enough about me. Let's get back to you trained yourself, but what I want to know,
yes,
is I want to know about the story and how you actually were able to get on the promoter's card. Like, how did you get into to a facility to work a show? I mean, how did you get past the promoter, and how did you get yourself booked on a card without ever having anybody else trained you?
because I was good, because I had charisma, because I know how to talk on the microphone, because I can stand people up and bring them to the edge of the ring, and all of this sort of thing. And how I did it, I found out who the local promoter was when I was in college. And I called the promoter and I said, I want to be a professional wrestler. I have all of the gear. I've got all this stuff. I'm ready. And I was told, come in for a tryout. We know what that means. I assume everybody watching right now knows what that means. Back in the good old days, back when wrestling was real. Oh, did I say that? Oh my gosh. But you go in it for a tryout, and sometimes they would say, pick out the wrestler you want to work with, you want to work out with. And sometimes that new person who wanted to be a professional wrestler would pick out a small guy, and the small guy would break a bone in them, would hurt them, would leave them limping out of the building. Then if the person, once they healed, if they came back, they would hurt them again. If they came back a third time and their attitude was good, maybe they would put them in the ring, give them about 6 months, see what they could do. And then if they felt like they should go any further, they might say, come over here, let me have a talk with you.
Wow.
So did that ever happen to me? Well, not really. No. Did I ever hurt someone? Oh, do you want to hear that story? Or you have so many questions.
Well, I mean, because you got on the card. Obviously, you got on the card. You had a match, so obviously, you're wrestling your first match ever in front of a crowd. On a promoter show. So
yes.
I just got to know how that went.
I went to Tampa International Airport. They said, we're going to be in the airport at this time. Come over, show us what you got, show us the velvet robes and all this gear that you're talking about. Let us meet you in person. I said, okay. So that was my audition, was meeting them in person. There was a fellow there by the name of Billy Blue River, who also Wild Bill Williams, I think, was another name that he used. And there was a big gash on his forehead. He was a promoter, plus he was a wrestler. And there were probably 14 or so stitches in that. And he says, you sure you want to be in this business, boy? And I said, yes. He says, you know what this is? What made this? I said, well, okay, if you want to tell me. He says, in the ring, carpet knife. This guy pulled out a carpet knife. You really willing to go through that? And I said, whatever's necessary. And I meant it 100%. I said, if that's part of it, if that's what I have to do, if I have to take that kind of punishment. Because when I was 16 years old, weighing 132 pounds, I think, on my 16th birthday, I made the declaration that I would become a professional wrestler. Never had any doubt. Never doubted it. I knew it would happen. And it did. Maybe the lack of doubt, I think if we can eliminate doubt, we can accomplish everything. So my first match, one of the first matches in my old hometown, because I decided to go back up there and show them, they said, boy, you ain't got, you'd have to gain 100 pounds. You're going to be a wrestler. Shoot, you ought to just get yourself a job like your daddy. He's been working in there. He's like a soda jerk, but he's been working in that drugstore for like I don't know how many since he's 14. Heck, he's going to have his house paid for in another 8 years. I don't know why anybody would want to leave the county. You got everything you want right here. You just don't be so uppity, boy. Just settle down. Okay, fine. Your bone structure's too small. You'd have to gain 100 pounds of muscle. You can't do that. Nobody can do that. Several years later, I made it a point to go back to the old hometown there. I was main event. I wrestled George Becker, who was the ex-world champion, who was a deity in that part of the country in the South, especially in the Carolinas. Beat him. Took a lot of shortcuts and got people really, really angry, and I had a little mini riot and stuff like that. But I beat him in the middle of the ring. I was back, made the front page of the newspaper, and the police called the surrounding counties saying, we've got a riot on our hands. Can you send us some backup? I had it under control. Not a big deal. I can tell you about that, but that'll take some time. It'll be fascinating. But the next day, I'm back in. The person who had told me that originally, your bone structure too small, etc. He was a barber in Graham, North Carolina, regular old house with one little, looked like a little outhouse built onto it with one barber chair. That's what he had. So I'm back in that barber chair. Front page of the newspaper, just beat the world champion George Becker. He's standing behind me. He's got his shears and his clippers, and he's just freezing. And he finally puts them down, and he walks in front of me. He says, boy, you done it. Now, golly, I don't think nothing's impossible no more. And I said, bingo. That's it. If you think it's impossible, then it's impossible. Whether you believe you can or whether you believe you cannot, you're absolutely correct.
So with making the impossible possible, and you've had a highlighted career with many accolades and triumphs and whatnot, Hall of Fames, world titles, give us some of like your feelings in what those world Hall of Fames you went into, what they meant to you for keeping your part of wrestling tradition alive. Give us a little backstory on how those came about, or how you were able to enjoy and breathe that in.
Why don't I, rather than telling you about each one, stories about each one, why don't I tell you about the one that took place last year, which is the Hall of Fame that I really wanted. And I wasn't sure whether I was going to be in or not. And that was the George Tragos Lou Thesz. Try again, take two. Ow! George Tragos Lou Thesz Professional Wrestling Hall of Fame. And Dan Gable at the Dan Gable Museum, that's also in the same building in Waterloo, Iowa. And I was on stage. I was the part of the class of 2023, and some of the most amazing people. Les Thatcher was there. And he was my hero when I was a kid. He told me, he says, do you know how much we hated you? Because when I was 14, I would sit at ringside and I would cheer for the bad guys. And there was Johnny Weaver. I remember saying to Johnny Weaver, hey, Weaver, why don't you go back home and shave your legs again? And so I was so happy. I caused a little mini riot when I was 14 as a fan, because here's Rip Hawk and Swede Hansen, the two most dastardly, amazingly wonderful people, professional wrestlers ever. I had a fan club for them. Fair, square, modest, and honest. They were cocky, condescending, arrogant, and whenever I found out that they existed, I said, finally, thank you. I have role models. I'm at ringside when I'm 14. I tell Rip that I have this cane. And at one point, I said, I've got this cane if you need it. He says, thanks, kid. And at one point, he looks around and says, where's that cane? I said, here it is. He took the cane and he beat his opponents with it. And the police had to escort me out for my own safety. What other 14-year-old fan caused a riot? Pretty cool stuff.
I mean, that is pretty cool.
Oh, that's awesome.
Hey, you're talking about my favorite subject. You're talking about me. So, no, I am I'll be serious about this. You're going to think it's a joke. I am my own hero.
I mean, that's not. Yeah,
My,
I can get with it.
yeah. My people have asked me, do you have any regrets in your career? And I said, really, I only have one. And what is that, they ask. I said, well, I was never able to sit front row ringside and watch myself in the ring. They said, oh, that's funny. And then they see the serious look on my face. And I said, I'm serious. That's how much of a fan I was for what I had become, what I had created. I took the best of the best that I had seen, and I put it in this creation. And then a lot of myself went into it. And I remember when I was like 15, 16, well, let's say 16, after I made the determination, yes, I'm going to become a professional wrestler. If I could sit front row ringside and watch my ultimate hero in the ring, what would he look like? He would have bleached blonde hair. He would be suntanned. He would be pretty muscular. He would be a good wrestler. He would be also cocky and condescending and arrogant. He wouldn't think he's better than everybody else. He knew he's better. He would know he's better than everybody else. How would he dress? Velvet robes. Absolutely different, custom designed outfits, wraparound sunglasses, and he would be able to take the microphone and play it like a musical instrument. Well, so I said, then that's what I should become. That's who is my hero. I will become my own hero.
See, that's the best part about it. That right there is a piece for young wrestlers or upcoming personalities in the business to learn from, because learning how to take you and then dial it up just to 30 basically and keep rolling.
My friend ODB, if you know who she is.
Love her.
Yeah.
Okay. Jessie is her first name. And she said, ODB is me multiplied by 100. And I said, man, people, if they hear her say that and they understand it, what insight that gives people who want to get into this business, people who are in schools. By the way, if you're in wrestling schools, don't try to be like everybody else. Yeah, you can learn all the basic stuff. But I'll tell you, if you're in a wrestling school, you technically may be more advanced than I ever was. You'll do your leapfrogs and drop kicks and all that sort of thing. Great. And you may become a semi-name in a tiny little place. I never did a leapfrog. I never did a drop kick. I don't know how. I averaged over $250,000 a year. So I did okay. Had my picture on the front covers of magazines and never had to pay if I didn't want to at a restaurant. People would, it was amazing. People would follow me around. Even I would go to a new territory. I remember when I went to Pensacola, Florida. I had never been there before. Myself and my valet at the time, Miss Pamela, and we go into a grocery store. We haven't even found a place to live yet. And it's like people are following us around because they've seen the tapes that have been sent in and played on the local wrestling. So we're already there. We're already made. Plus, it doesn't matter if we are or not, because here's the secret. The secret is this. For the wrestlers, once you come out, once you open the curtain, you've got a few seconds to pull all of those fans in. They will either love you or hate you. And if you can't do that, then that's what's going to make you the money. This is your money maker right here. So if I'm looking at you and I have my barriers down and I've got a lot of energy and I'll allow emotion to come through, I can tell you anything. If I believe it's true, then the audience will believe it's true. I'm not going to go any further, but you see how that can go. You can see something in there. And those of you who are looking at me on your phone, you say, what's he doing? I don't see anything. Yeah, well, if you could zoom in and look at those eyes, if I let that go, you'd see a tear coming down that eye. Why? I don't know, whatever storyline we make up. Next.
That's right. Man, we got some great comments coming in here, guys.
Let's see what we have.
Yeah. Herb Simmons, the true meaning of the man, the myth, the legend, Rock Riddle. So,
Herb, thank you so much. Herb Simmons is a great, great guy. I have not had the opportunity to meet him in person, but I feel like I've known him forever. I don't think we've met in person. If we have, I would say to Herb, well, you would have remembered me. But I felt bad. I was going to the Fan Fest 2. I don't remember exactly what it was called.
Yeah.
But
this past May.
Yeah, I had a little situation. I have a mother who's 100 years old as of April 29th, costing me almost $10,000 a month. Not that I'm resistant to that, but I did tell the nurses, I said, ethylene glycol? No, they said, you can't do those kind of jokes here. I said, I just did. But no, I got a phone call, said, it's time to come back, we think. I said, she just was taken to the emergency from this wonderful place where they keep her. I said, okay, I'll fly back. So I already had my ticket for St. Louis, and it got changed. And then she decided to do what she's always done, and she made the decision she's going to outlive everybody.
Oh, my goodness.
Yep. So, hey, I should start a GoFundMe. Why, Rock? You have money. How do you know? You just said you made over $250,000 a year. Yeah. But you give me $40 million and give me 3 months and it'll be gone. It'll be invested wisely, though.
Right, exactly.
Okay, so send your money to just go to PayPal. Hold on. Am I in reverse?
Herb actually says you guys met in Waterloo.
Oh, that's right. I didn't remember there for a moment. Sometimes I think my memory's good for about 10 minutes. Hey, have I ever told you guys that sometimes I think my memory's good for about 10 minutes?
I picked up that.
I just picked up on it.
Why is he laughing at me? You're laughing at me?
No.
See, it has to be. Stop! Has to be done with a straight face, otherwise it's not funny.
There you go.
Okay, so what were we just saying? Oh, yes, because I said Herb's been around this business for such an incredibly long amount of time. Now I remember, by the way. I thought, you think that's funny?
Nope.
Why don't you put your teeth in back and eat yourself up? But I'll pop. With all of the things that we cannot say anymore, I have to resort back to little insult humor like that when I was in elementary school. Yes, because I expected he had been in the business so long that he must look older. And I said, well, this can't be Herb Simmons. My gosh. Anyway, thank you for reminding me of that. Yes, it was. I was very, very impressed. I will remember it for the rest of my life. And it was a highlight of my career to meet that man. Think I'm off the hook yet?
I think you're good.
Oh, I know what I was going to do. Stand by. This is going to be fun if I can find it.
Okay. We're always looking forward to things popping up on our screen. Or
it's not going to work. It's not working, and it's your fault.
Oh,
there we are. Want a tip, Rock? Go to paypal.com. Use Rock at HollywoodSuccess.com. Yes, help for that $10,000 per month that Rock spends on his dear old mom. Yes.
There you
and
go.
you could give to the Rock Riddle Benevolent Fund, the Buy Rock Riddle Private Island in the Western Caribbean Fund, the Rock Riddle the Rock Riddle Jet Fund. What kind of jet would I like? Well, go to Cyber, SYBER, cyberjet.com. And yes, that's it. Sea level pressure up to 41,000 feet. Whoa. And you buy it, you fuel it, you pay the insurance and the hangar. And whenever I'm not using it on something else, I'll fly you places. That's a pretty good deal. For those of you who have nothing but money. Okay. Well,
Right.
Let's see if I can take that off the screen. Oh my gosh, it's not coming off. I don't know how to take it off. It'll just be up there for the next hour.
Yep. There you go. There you go. That's awesome. Going back to as far as like getting into wrestling, I mean, of course, if people could see your actual website, rockriddle.info, have to come across that you've actually wrestled hundreds and hundreds of
Legends.
Hall of Famers in this business.
Oh yeah.
Okay. And of course, wrestling over the U.S. and of course parts of Canada, and of course winning a countless number of championships. So, what I want to know is, in regards to on your travel, and of course your success, what title wins meant the most to you, and which region in the U.S. did you like to wrestle the most?
First question first. The America's Tag Team Championship with John Tolos as my partner. That covers North America, South America, Central America, I suppose. So the Americas.
Nice.
Held the East Coast Tag Team Championship. I think one of the ones that you'll say, well, that doesn't sound like a big deal thing. One of the ones that was really a big deal to me was the City of Pensacola, Florida Championship that I won. And now I'm going blank on the name of the person. Someone give me the name. Great wrestler. He's passed on now. Oh gosh, we had a, for lack of a better way of saying it, we had a program that went for months and months and months. I came in from nowhere. I beat him. I took his championship. I took his trophy. I took everything. And if I could remember his name, it would be really interesting, huh?
Yeah. All I know is it's a beautiful beach in Pensacola.
I had 3 different places on the beach. I didn't want to leave. And no, I didn't. I had a Via de Luna is a street directly on the ocean. I had a house there. I also had a penthouse, not at the same time, but I had a penthouse, both floors that you could slide the doors open on the bottom and go down to the beach. On the bottom, we could slide that door open, and when the tide was really high, it would touch that bottom door.
Oh, God.
Pretty cool stuff. I had an inflatable raft. I would do my 6-mile run on the beach. I would do my workout at the local gym. And then I would get in that raft. I would paddle out. I had an anchor. I would throw that anchor over. I would work on my suntan just lying there. I had food with me. I had probably like cola, something like that. I had beverages. So I was cool. I remember going out one time with a box of jelly donuts on my raft. Didn't happen often, but I remember that one time. Also, I remember someone saying, "Hey, there's a shark." I said, "Oh, really? I don't see one. Here, sharky, sharky, sharky." So I'm slapping the water and putting my hand down in it. And because I had been told that there are no sharks in Pensacola Beach, people who live there say they've never seen one. And now I just discovered that, yeah, they have sharks there. I just saw video, another shark at Pensacola Beach. Anyhow, beautiful white sand, wonderful, wonderful place. And maybe one of the places I would consider living. There, where else? Prescott, Arizona. Yes, the people who live there call it Prescott, like a press kit. Prescott. Other people who don't know better call it Prescott. Prescott, Arizona. Oh, the things I could tell you about that. But let's go back to wrestling, or whatever you'd like to hear. We can talk philosophy. We can talk truth. We can talk anything.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, that's awesome. So, I mean, as far as it's funny because, I mean, I've had some great memories of Florida, of course, actually doing some fishing out in the Gulf of Mexico, actually catching a baby shark with my uncle. And then, of course, also, I was actually in Arizona a couple of years ago in Sedona. I just love the view of the Red Rocks myself.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's always good. And it's always good when I actually had to stop in Albuquerque on the way there, and I'm wearing open toe. Just got to remember not to wear open toe shoes anywhere in Albuquerque because I almost got, I almost stepped on a scorpion. So, that would have been bad.
I would have smarted.
You
Yeah,
would you
yeah,
you
that
would
would have
have
been that
all the
that would not been good for me.
although
But
you never felt bad about taking the life of fish, you would have felt bad had you stepped on a scorpion and the scorpion attempted to defend itself and you may have taken its life as well. It's just so sad. Next question.
well,
That's not funny, Rock. Rock, you're saying stuff that's not funny. Yes, but if I think it's funny, that's all that matters. I'm entertaining myself. If other people think that they're entertained as well, great. If you're not, I don't care.
don't worry. A lot of times I'll laugh and no one else is, so that's okay. Did we get down to the point of which region of the U.S. did you like wrestling the most?
Oh, okay. Vern Gagne's American Wrestling Alliance, AWA.
Man. Yeah.
Second to that was Roy Shires out of San Francisco. Yes, for those of you who don't know, San Francisco used to be a nice place. You could go there. You could go to Fisherman's Wharf and stuff like that.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
I don't know what happened. Yes, I do. Anyway, yeah. So Roy Shire was great. I made a bunch of money for Roy. I made a bunch of money for Vern Gagne. It was just amazing. I'll tell you a little story. I was in Tennessee, and Tennessee, I got along with Nick Goulas. If there's people out there who study the history of wrestling, well, everybody hated Nick Goulas. He paid the boys just enough that they could eat, but they wouldn't have enough money to go to a different place. Yeah, and everybody hates him. No, I didn't hate him. He was good to me. I did well. Hey, I got along with everybody. Roy Shire, people said, oh, this guy he's horrible and he treats people badly. He treated me great. He invited me to his private ranch at Sebastopol, California. And when I told Pat Patterson that afterward, Pat said, he invited you? He says, he doesn't invite anybody to go there. I said, don't worry, Pat, I'll put in a word for you. You know Pat Patterson's famous quote that I've helped to make famous. When he was introducing me years ago, he was introducing me to some of the wrestlers whom I had not met or some people in the business. And he says, guys, this is Rock Riddle. Rock's the original Mr. Wonderful of professional wrestling. I had some of the best matches of my career with this man. When he said that, I'm waiting for the punchline. And there's no punchline. And now it's like, is there something I can hold on to? And I told Pat, I said, that is the greatest compliment I've ever had in my life. You made my day, you made my week, you made my month. You made the whole rest of my life. And I thank you. He says, I only say it because it's true. And of course, he used to say, Rock, you never seem to amaze me. I said, Pat, it's cease, not seem. It sort of changes the meaning there. Speaking of Pat Patterson, I did have the opportunity before he passed away. And nobody knew that was going to happen, obviously, but I've had the opportunity at CAC, where I will be again in August. CAC, caulifloweralleyclub.org. That's caulifloweralleyclub.org for the yearly wrestlers reunion, awards, banquets, etc. It's the largest philanthropic organization of professional wrestlers in the world. But I remember before Pat had passed away, he was there, and I said, Pat, I just wanted to take this opportunity to tell you how important you've been in my life. What an important part of my life you've been. And he said, how much did you want to borrow? I said, no, I just wanted to say I've learned so much from you. You've been such an inspiration. You've been a friend over all of these many years, and it is muchly appreciated. And I thought you should know. And so after he melted a little bit, it was just, I was really happy that I was able to say that. I was really happy that I've been able to say things like that to other people. My mentor, if you will, the person who gave me life, who introduced me to this business, because I watched my first wrestling match on television and it was Rip Hawk and Swede Hansen. dastardly guys that they were, and they introduced me to the world of professional wrestling, and that's when my life began. And I had the opportunity to tell Rip before he passed away. I said, Rip, you're the most influential person ever in my life, and you'll never know how much I appreciate you. So, by the way, that's something you need to do, guys, ladies and gentlemen. If you have someone who has inspired you, someone you've enjoyed watching, someone who's a part of your childhood or your adulthood, doesn't matter. Say thank you. Means a lot. Watch them. Watch the tough guys. You say thank you.
Yeah.
So
watch what happens.
Yep. Go ahead, buddy. I'm sorry.
So within today's world of wrestling, you still get to dabble and grace the world of professional wrestling, mostly at a commentary table. And like myself, who's just now getting started in the commentary world of professional wrestling and learning how to I want to bring back some of that old school wrestling commentary style, like where they didn't know what was going on. But some companies like to give you the insight. I don't want the insight. I don't want to know the matches and all that kind of stuff. I want to have the experience of a fan. But can you give some insight into that world and how it has impacted you and what you would like to see maybe come back or kind of tradition of the commentator be?
No, I'm afraid not.
Oh, okay. No, you got to give it to me, dang it.
Yeah. Well, try to take it from me. So when I do commentary, I do color commentary, and my job is to be the person I am. Lifelong heel, lifelong bad guy, lifelong person who insults everybody, who loves the bad guys, who hates the sweetie pie, little panty waist guys. And that's, yeah. So what we're going to do, I want to let the fans know the next time they come to the matches, because I just felt this vibration, and that's why I looked at my partner over there. I know you feel good that I called you a partner. You never will be. But I just said, oh my gosh, is that an earthquake? And then I said, no, it's the 400-pound, I think, female who's walking back from the snack bar again. Boom, boom, boom. So what we're going to do for the wrestling promotion, because I have great influence here, is starting at the next matches on whatever date and wherever it's going to be. At these matches, even if I have to purchase them, there are going to be 2 freight scales. Everyone's going to step on that scale, and you're paying by the pound. With all of the extra income, I expect a very, very large raise. And it's about time that this promotion moved into the billionaire position again, like the others have. But this is happening because of me, because of Rock. Whatever. So I insult the fans. I'm one of the greatest things that's ever been said about the thing that I do now for Empire Wrestling Federation, which is on, is it Roku? There's a wrestling,
Roku. Yep.
Yeah, there's that channel, and there's also, it's on like 3 different live things, and you can go back and watch it afterward. But one of the greatest things, I have the person who does play-by-play. I've worked with several of them, and the one who's now doing that is Eric Anderson, who wrestled actually under the name of Ebony Blade, and he's also an attorney, so he's very good on the microphone. It's fun stuff. I have had several people who've watched us and said, man, it's like Bobby Heenan in Gorilla Monsoon.
Oh.
Touched me. I said, wow. That is, if I heard it from too many people, I would start believing it's true. But I said, that is absolutely amazing. And then I throw it away because otherwise I'm competing with 2 people who are not here. Bobby Heenan was a great friend. Wow. I can tell you stories about so many people. Next question. You can guide this. Usually when I am doing like a 2-hour show, a couple of years ago, I was doing a new show. I don't remember what the guy's name, what the name of it was, because I do so many. And he sent me an email, and he says, Rock, Do you have any specific questions or any topics that you'd like us to talk about? I responded. I said, usually when I'm doing a 2-hour live show, the host says, Mr. Riddle, would you please introduce yourself? At that moment, the host does not speak again, and we have a brilliant 2-hour show.
That's not how it works here.
There's definitely different flavors for different shows. That's for sure.
This guy responded, and he says, "I understand, Rock, but and as host of the show, do you think it would be okay for me to ask a couple of questions?" He took me seriously. But then there have been many shows where I'm on, and there are co-hosts, and they're not doing a great job. So what I will do is I was like, I know the co-host. I know you both have a lot of questions. And I know there are a lot of people on the lines now who have other questions that are really, really fascinating. But no one has questions like the ones I would ask of myself. So, Rock Riddle, you're so incredibly handsome. You must have been a beautiful baby. Is that true? And I would, etc. And I take over the show and just keep going.
Goodness.
No, if they can't handle it, and if they, it's like this lady asked me, and I'm not going to tell you who it was because it'll give things away that I would rather not talk about right now.
Gotcha.
But this lady asked me, great friend of mine, gorgeous lady, did she work with you in the wrestling business? I can't say that. She said, I have no family. I'm getting married. And would you walk down the aisle with me, like, give me away? They did this on a ship at Marina del Rey. I had everyone except one lady who hated my guts, who must have been related to the groom. I mean, I had virtually everyone else on that ship who, when the captain said, if there's anyone who has any objection, speak now, forever hold your peace. We were all going to object. I was going to object. I would come up with 10, 20 minutes worth of objections. And the captain wimped out. He did not ask the question.
Nice.
But my friend who was invited to accompany me there, she says, You can't do that, Rock. This is their wedding. You can't. I said, look, if they wanted a normal person, they would not have invited me. If they invite me, it ain't going to be normal. It's going to be something incredible. It's going to be something different. I'm going to take the spotlight, then I'll give it back to them, but etc. Okay, your turn.
All right. Well, so I know we've been talking a good amount about, your wrestling career. Of course, that's what we mainly talk about is wrestling, but also wrestling is a form of entertainment. And of course, entertainment goes beyond, such as TV. You've had TV appearances. Of course, you're an actor, producer, director, whatever. And you've done a lot of appearances over the years. So, who are some of the great actors that you've had the privilege of working on the same set with, and what were the TV projects that you worked on with them?
You mean you don't know this? You didn't do enough research to have a list and just pick out one at random and say, tell me a story. Rock, tell me a story about you working with Sylvester Stallone on Paradise Alley. Okay, fine. So there's one. I worked with Robin Williams, the first movie I ever did. That was interesting. So speaking of impossible, my first movie was also starring with Robin Williams and some other pretty amazing people. Working with Sly Stallone was fun. I met him in the gym. If you want to hear that story, you're welcome to hear that story. You want to name somebody and say, tell me a story about you and Andre the Giant. Okay, fine. How many stories do you want to hear? Tell me about you and Sly Stallone. Tell me about you and fill in the blank. Whatever. All these people I've wrestled. My gosh, I
want to know more about this first movie with Robin Williams then. Like, that's what I'm ready to... No, I'll give it.
You have to have a really distorted sense of humor. And this was a movie, I'll tell you now, because I usually avoid it. What? You know what it is?
No, I said I got a distorted sense of humor, so that's why I'm raising my hand.
Oh, I see. I am. If you take a look at the VHS and or the beta box that this movie came in, you'll
Beta
see
box.
my picture on the rear cover. There in his infinite greatness. Also starring with Robin Williams. Okay, it was a movie of basically dirty jokes acted out. It was. You see, I had to bring this up, did I not? It was a sequel.
Oh no.
The first movie's title was, and you're going to think this is not true, go to IMDb and take a look. The first movie title was, If You Don't Stop It, You'll Go Blind. The sequel with Robin Williams was, Can I Do It Till I Need Glasses? That's the title. Can I do it till I need glasses? So, no, you don't have to pay your dues. You don't have to do little theater and hope that some producer's going to stop by and do all this crap and take all of these classes from people who've never been successful, but they're charging you all of this money to teach you. Same as some wrestling promotion schools. But there's nothing wrong with starting at the top. Your first movie was with Robin Williams and you had also starring? Yeah. Okay, fine. Have you heard of a group called the Aquabats?
Oh my gosh.
No, you don't look nearly cool enough to know who they are.
No,
My bad.
I don't. Nah.
Okay. Aquabats. You'll have to look them up after we do this, and then you're going to feel so bad you'll probably go by and I assume we're live and streaming live right now, but you'll go by. You'll have to strip everything down and say, "Oh no, I've got to take it down." Well, once it's up forever. Even if you take it down, we're all recording it. I just found something I do every week or two. I do a search on, quote, in quotation marks, Rock Riddle, Google search to see what's come up about me in the last week, who's talking about me. If there's somebody who says, well, nobody ever says anything bad. If they do, I like it. But I just saw lyrics to a new song that was just released, I think on the 21st of June, called Where is Walter Fang? I think that's the name of it. It goes back to a television show called The New Soupy Sales Show. Soupy Sales did all of his old stuff. They stopped. Then he started doing them again. He called it The New Soupy Sales Show. So I did a show for him, did a guest starring role on this show. This song is based on the show, and it has my voice in it. You'll just have to take a look at it. Who is Walter Fang? Where is Walter Fang? One of the two, by the Aquabats. And I thought that was pretty cool. I saw the lyrics and I said, oh, there's someone put my name in the lyric of a song. Okay. And they've got me in the song, and they've got someone with an interesting, recognizable voice at the end talking about me. Interesting. So now I play that song every once in a while. I've played it to the point that I'm tired of it, but I'll still play it just to hear that Rock Riddle part. Okay. None of that makes sense. Go to those of you who are fortunate enough to be Facebook friends. Go to my Facebook. I have it on there, I think. Or send me an email. I'll give you private email address. If anyone spams me, I'll get you. But I'm giving you a gift here, so be nice. The Real Rock Riddle at gmail.com. The Real Rock Riddle at gmail.com. And I could send, or you can go online. Put Soupy Sales Wrestling. And then put the Aquabats, and put wrestling on that one, and you'll see all of it. And then you can, if you find a place where you can see the actual lines in the song. I just said in the. If you find the lyrics, there we are. You say, oh, they're the lyrics, because as in most songs, you have trouble. We have a challenge understanding the words. Okay, what else? And what's playing in the background again? I hear stuff. Nobody wants to hear background. Is that better?
I mean, unless we got some really cool music, which I don't think we've got cool music for you.
No.
Aquabats, come on, play my song. You'll get taken down off of every platform.
Yeah. But
yeah.
So going away from some of your first movies and stuff, just recently you've been on projects with, the transition to the silver screen and all that stuff with movies and all that, TV shows. But Unchained is one of your recent projects that you've been working on. Are you?
It's out.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, it came out in 2021, correct?
Officially, yes.
That's what I thought. Okay, just making sure. So, what were the many hats that you played in? Because you have a starring role, and we just queued it up, ready to go. So after the show, because we're watching it.
I want to watch it with you. It's amazing. That Rock Riddle, he's such a talent. I can't believe it. Man, if there were two of us.
Give us a rundown on how that movie came about. Did you write it and direct it, or just carry on with what you're doing? And give us a little bit of your role in the movie.
Okay. A friend of mine, I have many, many friends in the entertainment industry. Raffaello, one of the very few people. He has a long last name, but everyone knows him, and especially professionally, as Raffaello. Raffaello called me and he says, Rock, I'd like for you to do a role in my movie. And I said, I don't want to do any acting. I don't have the acting in my blood. I've got the wrestling in my blood. I don't have the time. And I said, Raffaello, you literally know hundreds of people who could do that role. You've won 68 film awards so far? Something like that. 68, 69. And these people, they would do anything to be in your movie. I don't care. I don't have the time. And I'm sure you can find someone who would do it better than me. He responded. I think that was done in an email. He responded, I think the next day, he says, Rock, of all the people I know, there's no one who can do it as well as you. I said, what's my call time? Where do you want me? And it was downtown Los Angeles. He says, we'll have a car. I said, I'll just go. Tell me where you want me to be. I'll be there. Drive myself. I don't care. I don't need to have a limo and all that sort of weird stuff. And I like to be in control anyway. So he sent me the sides. The sides are the pages of the script that are for me. And I read them and I memorized them. Then on set, he said, Rock, make it your own. I said, well, I saw it just popped up there. He said, my words that I wrote, because he was the producer, director, writer, even cinematographer. Wow. And he's really good at everything that he does. Wonderful guy. Really big heart, good guy. And he said, you don't have to use my words, whatever you want. I said, okay, I memorized it. You wrote it. You're a really good writer. Let me do it with your words. You tell me how many takes you want, and then give me one final take, and I'll just play with it. He said, okay. I did it with his words. I think he wanted 2 takes, maybe 3. And he says, okay, do it your way. I did it my way. That's what ended up in the movie. That's what ended up in each one of the trailers. And that's what got all of the attention. He went to Eric Roberts. He said, Rock, right now, the way I put this together, you have top billing over Academy Award nominee Eric Roberts. But before we make that official, I've got to get his blessing. He has to sign off on it. And I said, fine. I don't care. I don't even care if my name's on there, really. And my ego's not that big. Only in the wrestling business is my ego huge. But Eric Roberts I had met him before, and I think I worked on one project with him, but I don't think we were on the set together. Yes, that's true. I did, but he had no problem. He says, "Yeah, Rock should have top billing." So I've got, I guess it's starring, starring or co-starring billing on that movie. I don't even know exactly, but it was very nice, and it's like it's always good when you do something crazy and people applaud. So that's
Yeah.
all I have to tell you. I went down there, I did it, and because Raffaello said, "Hey, we can do it in one day. Your part, we can do it in one day." He says, "Your part, we can probably do it in like 2 hours, maybe even one." Did it in about 2 hours, I think, hour and a half.
You have starring. I'm looking at it right
Okay, starring Rock Riddle, Mr.
Yeah.
Wonderful, the diamond ring and Cadillac man, the man who possesses the body that men fear and women love, the intercontinental lover, the Rolls Royce of wrestling, four-time Hall of Famer, Rock Riddle.
I'm just because when I looked into this movie, I did I want to watch this too because it's kind of interesting how someone surviving a fight ring, but yet helping others who are fighting as well. They're fighting each other. At least that's what I understand. So
Yeah.
it kind of intrigued on who
now. No
survived.
referee.
Yeah, no referee. That's the part I saw in the
like
trailer, and then of course that
was just
cynical laugh
all
you
ad
do.
lib.
And then you have the beautiful Tara Valkyrie.
Referee for
in
this bout is nobody.
Nobody.
They liked it. It's always good when you do something and people applaud afterward because cast and crew don't normally applaud. So I said, "Oop, I must have done okay."
I broke it. Yeah, I'm excited to watch it.
Okay, well, you'll probably be disappointed because the trailer's so brilliant and the movie's okay. Movie's okay. Tanya, Taya,
Valkyrie.
Okay, give me the first name because she's changed it up a few times. You don't know Taya?
Well, we just know the last name is Valkyrie, but
Okay,
Yeah.
that's all. Okay, good. Then I don't feel as bad.
John Morrison's wife.
Correct.
Oh yeah,
Correct.
Oh, right.
And he's a good guy. He's a nice guy too. There's so many good people in the business. A lot of a few bad apples, but you'll find that in every business.
I like these kind of films, so I like watching the underlying building of movies, like the ones that they weren't famous for, kind of thing.
Well, I could give you some insight into this film. I probably should not say it publicly, but after you watch it and you want to know what's the insight that I should know,
Well, I got your email address now.
I could what?
I said I got your email address now.
That's not from me. That's not mine.
No. Shh.
That's someone impersonating me. That's why my email is therealrockriddle@gmail.com.
Yes.
Anyway, did I finish any question? Did I finish any answer yet?
You touched on it great, my friend. You did good there. It was good.
So I worked with Sly Stallone. I met Sly Stallone. You want to hear a Sly Stallone story or not?
Please do it.
Yeah.
I'm afraid not. I'm not in the mood anymore. Okay. I was in Holiday Health Spa or Health Club. It was across the street from the Chinese Theater. It was like there are twin tower medical towers there now, but it was a part of those towers. I'm working on the bench press, I think, and this guy comes in, and I'm always judgmental. I evaluate people very quickly. And this strange person was there working out with boxing shorts on in basically a bodybuilding gym. And I said, okay, all he needs is boxing gloves now, and he'll really fit in with the wackos from Hollywood here. He comes over to me and he says, hey, I wanted to introduce myself. My name is Stallone. Okay, so here's this weirdo coming over to me wearing boxing trunks, and no gay guys have ever found me attractive, so I figured that's not it. It's got to be something else. Well, it's true.
I like it. I'm down with it.
Oh, my.
So And then when he told me his first name was Sylvester, I said, guy in boxing trunks in the gym who just named himself after a cartoon character bird or a cat, whatever. Sylvester. I said, okay, fine. However, and we became friends though, and I found out he's an actor and that kind of thing. So he would come into the gym and he would go to a piece of equipment. I would say, "Hey, I'm using that." He said, yeah, but you're. I said, "I'm supersetting. Stay away from my equipment." He would go to another piece of equipment, and I said, "Hey, I'm using that too." You said you're supersetting. I said, "I'm double supersetting," and then keep that up. Then he would come toward me. We would come to each other. We're like almost nose to nose. And I said, "Stand up when you talk to me, boy," because he's not quite as tall as me. And then people in the gym are literally standing up, backing away from us because they know at any moment we're going to come to blows until Sly and I both can't keep it up anymore, and we both laugh. And then they're really mad because we put them on and we fooled them. It's just like people say, "Well, Rock," like wrestlers, because I go around and train wrestlers and stuff, and they don't like me because I'm honest with them. But they'll say, "Rock, but what if we're in the ring and the crowd starts saying boring?" I said, "If I'm in the ring and they start saying boring, boring, what do you think I would do?" I don't know, and yell at them. No, I don't know. What would you do? I would grab a headlock and sit down in the middle of the ring. I just did this to every single fan, and now I have real heat. Yes! They think they can outsmart me. No, you can't outsmart me. I control you. I know what you're going to do. I feed off of your energy. I tell you what energy you're going to have. I know what you're going to do before you know what you're going to do. Human psychology, ring psychology, wrestling psychology. So Sly Stallone told me at one time in the gym, because we would work out a couple times a week in there, and just run into each other. We sort of, I guess we knew each other's schedule, or we, creatures of habit, we were there at the same times. And he says, "Rock," he says, "I got this idea. I want you to," he had watched me on television. He knew I was a wrestler, and that's why he wanted to talk to me initially. He said, "I got this idea. I want you to handle the wrestling choreography, and I got a role in there for you. And it's a movie. It's called Hell's Kitchen." I said, "Okay, fine." I said, "You got a decent role?" He said, "Oh yeah, I got a real good role for you." I said, "Okay, fine. Yeah, I'm fine with that." So he was going to do a movie called Hell's Kitchen. I was going to be playing one of the starring roles. This was a foregone conclusion. And then until one day he came into the gym. He's always happy, always kidding around. Weird sense of humor. I was going to say beyond mine. I don't know if that's possible, but a pretty distorted sense of humor. And he was avoiding making eye contact with me. And I said, "This is very unusual." And finally, he reluctantly walked up to me and he says, "Rock, I need to talk to you. I need to talk to you." I said, "Okay." He says, "We're going to do, I was going to do a Hell's Kitchen and stuff. And I can't do it. I was going to play one of the wrestlers, and we're going to use real professional wrestlers in there, and they're not going to take it easy on me because I'm a movie star. In fact, it'll be probably harder. I had to change everything." I said, "So what happened?" He says, "I was working out with this wrestler, and he says, 'Choke me.'" And I said, so I said, "What do you mean choke?" And he says, "Choke me." So I said, "Fine, I'll choke him." And I choked him. And he says, "Choke me hard as you can, harder." And then he said, "Are we PG on this show? Can I quote something?"
Yeah. I mean, it could slip. Z slipped. I've slipped.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Hmm. Uh, I know how I'll do it. I'll do it. I will insert the word kitty for what he said. Okay, we got it.
I
He
got
says,
it.
"Choke me, you kitty." And Rock, I was choking him as hard as I could, and he just stood there. I said, "So, how long have you known Jean LaBelle?" He said, "I didn't say who it was." I said, "No, it was Jean LaBelle. You just told me it was Jean LaBelle. And Jean LaBelle showed you at every moment that he could hurt you. He didn't. He just put enough pressure on so that you knew he could do serious harm. Am I right?" He says, "Yeah." He says, "So here's what happens, Rock. I changed the whole thing. I rewrote it all. It's called Paradise Alley now. It still takes place in Hell's Kitchen, but it's called Paradise Alley. I got this guy, Lee Cantalino. He's a big guy, actor. He's really strong. He looks good, and he's going to play the wrestler. I can't play the wrestler. I'm going to play the wrestler's brother." I said, "Okay." And he said, and that means I had to change things. I said, "Okay." He says, "So I still want you in it, but it's not the big role." I said, "Okay, I don't care." I mean, I care, of course, but it makes no difference really, because what's important is the project. If me playing a tiny role makes the project the best it can possibly be, fantastic. If me running for coffee and donuts for the cast and crew makes it better. If me not being in it at all, me doing story, whatever it is, because it's always got to be about the project. It's always got to. And he looked at me and he says, "Wow." I said, you didn't think I understood, did you?" Wow. But so we're on the set. I think one of the first days of filming, we're on the set and Sly's not busy. So I walk over to him. I say, "Sly, you got a moment?" He says, "Yeah." I said, "I got a great idea for you. This is brilliant. Just want to make sure you have time. And you got a clear, open mind." He said, "Yeah." I said, "Okay, you remember in Rocky how it's boom, 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 boom." He says, "Yeah." And you got ROCKY in big letters just going across the screen. He says, "Yeah, I remember that." And I said, "Okay, this one, you've got to have more dynamic music. And now going across the screen, ROCK, stop. It says rock. Then RIDDLE, riddle. And then rock riddle. It flashes. Rock riddle, rock riddle, rock riddle. Next card, starring in Paradise Alley. And then in parentheses under Paradise Alley, also featuring S. Stallone. What do you think, Sly? Sly Stallone, having my sense of humor, he's sitting back saying, I can see him seeing it in his mind. No, I don't think so. I'm writing a book now, and it keeps getting delayed because I keep re-editing and adding more things in, and other things have been taking priority. But it should be out by the end of this year. It's called Simply Wonderful, obviously, and I'm going to do my best to keep it down to 800 pages. So I have to edit it down a lot, but I'll have a lot of pictures in there, and especially on the dedicated website that goes along with the book. So. But I never got a picture. Other people got pictures of Sly and I together, but I have no pictures of Sly and I together. Sly and I. So I think I will have to use that as an excuse to say, Sly, where are you? I need to come to you to get a picture. Are you still on the West Coast? Fantastic. You want lunch, or you want me just to meet you somewhere, take the picture, and go? No, well, he'll say, I imagine he would say, please, let's have lunch. You know, and let's block more than an hour for lunch. Okay. It's just like the first time I finally had dinner with Sergeant Slaughter, and that was really amazing. I've had such a wonderful life in this industry. I've had such a wonderful life altogether, especially the sad parts of it and things that people would beat themselves up over. Hey, everything I've experienced, all the horror, all of the sadness, all of the loss, all of the joy, all of the wonder, the regret, all of it, it made me the person I am now. So it was all necessary. And I wake up in the morning, I look in the mirror, I like the person I see, and I said, that was all necessary. You having your heart broken to such a degree, you having all of these things, you losing these. Thank you very much. You having, it's the phone is muted, but it has another something that comes through to tell me because of that security. I've got the tightest security here. Oh my gosh. And still it's not enough. Oh well. 14 cameras. 6 of them are watched. Anytime there's movement, there's a company called Deep Sentinel Security. They talk 110 decibels through the camera. They talk to the person. They have saved at least one home invasion here. And that, without going into detail, that probably saved the would-be invader's life. So they chased him away. So anyway, we were talking about Sly. We're talking about, where were we before that phone interrupted me?
Well,
act like you don't know. I don't know. I wasn't listening.
Well, I mean, you bring up a good point because I guess that's kind of a sign here. I would think of actually where I was going to go to my next question here because you're talking about security. If it, basically saved an intruder's life, so it kind of leads you to believe that you are well protected in many, many forms, and you also are a multiple certified, with multiple awards, certified arms shooting instructor.
I'm a firearms instructor, yes, and a competitive shooter.
Yes, and a competitive shooter. So, and I know that you also teach classes and seminars. So, let us, if you can elaborate on the seminars you teach, like the classes you teach, and then also for all of the students that have attended your classes, what is the most important takeaway you want them to remember out of the classes that you teach with them?
I want them to have an emotional experience. I want them to understand the amazing significance, the utter, how do I say it? The life and death importance of safety with firearms. A couple of different things. I like to empower people. You see, I think we have the right to defend ourselves. And people want to take away our right to defend ourselves. Well, the bad guys will always have an advantage because they don't follow laws. I teach a class for actors and a lot of other things too, but I do a 4-hour class. I've got one coming up early August. Where is it? Eventbrite. I think you can find it if you're really interested. Otherwise, send me the email. I've already given out my personal private email address. This is accelerated success, the business of acting, combined with believability on the screen, firearms. Because here's the thing, a lot of actors don't have any idea of how to hold a firearm. They've never had a firearm. They're playing a police officer or an FBI agent or CIA or some other 3-letter. They have the gun like this with their finger on the trigger. Here's the Charlie Angels. Okay, what are we going to do here? Blow our head off. They have their finger on the trigger like this, and they have the gun pointed at their partner. They're teacupping the gun. They're holding their wrist. They're doing everything wrong. They are setting a very, very bad handgun safety example. So here's the easy way to say it. Okay, there's 2 little 5-year-olds. So this is the way that you can picture this. There's Sally and Timmy. They're both 5 years old. They're having a play date at Sally's parents' home. And Timmy knows that somewhere in that house is a lockbox with a firearm in it, with a pistol in it. And of course, Sally's parents know that there's no way she knows where the key is because they underestimate children. And little Sally's known for at least a year and a half where that key is. The big people are not in the room, so little, did I say Timmy? Yeah, we'll call him Tim. Timmy and Sally, they're in the room, and Timmy says, I just want to see it. I just there's nobody in here, but let's open it and look at it. Okay, so Timmy is not going to touch it, but when he sees it, it's like, wow, it's really heavy, huh? And he takes it out, and then he does what he saw you, the actor, do on television. And little Sally dies on the way to the hospital. Do you bear any responsibility? What about you, the producers who were in the group? What about you? I even, for a friend, he says, I have no budget, I have no nothing. I said, fine. Before you go out there and set a bad example, and you just put a picture on Facebook, you're starring in this movie, and you're holding this gun like this, which is absolutely wrong and stupid, makes you look stupid, makes the movie look stupid. I'll come out and spend a day. I'll give a full day seminar to you and your people for nothing or for future consideration. So I did. And then their film ended up looking good. But here's the thing. And I'll just give you a little bit of this. I have people in this class, in the audience, who cry because I will play the part for them. I will say, I am playing your part. You're the person, you've been studying, you've got a CCW, concealed carry permit. In this theater, an active shooter has come in, has already shot 2 people who are dead or dying. You are the person who can save everybody else, including yourself. Now, your blood pressure is the highest it's ever been. Your heart rate is the highest it's ever been. You cannot feel your fingertips. If you pull that firearm out in this room and you fire it, it will be painfully loud and you will not hear it. Your brain will not allow you to analyze, only react. You will not be the best like you've been on the range. You'll not go to the best. You'll go to the absolute worst. Be slow motion. Things will happen in slow motion. There's a 52% probability after this happens, you will not remember it. You'll have memory loss. Your brain's trying to protect you. You can't think. You can only react. So here it is. This is you. Got the gun out. And I'm not going to go through it right now, but I shoot the person, which is you shooting the person. Boom. And now I'm watching the guy go down in slow motion, and I just saved everybody, all of the lives of the people in here. He's going down in slow motion. And then I see part of the face of the little girl who was behind him. I shot her. Kill the little girl, etc. So by then I'll come in and out of that, and I'll tell them, okay, as I'm holding the gun out there like so, say, okay, 12 minutes ago, there were 3 911 calls for this active shooter. Since we're relatively close to a police department, finally, they have responded pretty quick, 12 minutes. Of course, the other 2 people have been dead for how long now? I've just put this guy down. And unfortunately, the little girl, too. Well, she would have been dead anyway, because the active shooter would have killed everybody in the room. Doesn't matter. How will I live? How can I live with this, etc. So I'm there. I don't hear, remember. I have tunnel vision at 20 feet. I can see 12 inches. This is how the body's trying to protect me in this life or death situation. This is what happens. I'll have false memories, too. There's so much that goes into this. So I show them emotionally how to play the part, how to be believable, what they will experience if this is real. So I'm there holding the firearm out. And then there are law enforcement who come in and say, "Sir, put the gun down, put the gun down, put the gun down, put the gun down." I don't hear them. I don't see them. And finally, I start slowly turning in their direction. And they're using laser pistols for this demonstration. I have several people who work with me. And it shoots a red laser beam. So they're hitting me. And I die there in front of them. And they handcuff me afterward because that's and then they'll explain why that is. But then when I'm shot and I'm down, and the law enforcement people come over to handcuff me, I look up and say, "Thank you. Thank you. Thank you." Why am I thanking them? Because I can't live with my life knowing that I shot this little girl. And I can see that, and that burned into my memory forever and ever and ever. So I'm showing this to them. And then they say, "Why did you handcuff him? He's probably dead." "Yeah, he probably is." "Why do you do that?" Et cetera, et cetera. "Why did you shoot him?" "Because he started pointing the gun in our direction." Okay. So they'll understand law enforcement. If they're playing law enforcement, if they're playing bad guys, I'll tell them the different kind of bad guys there are. There's so many different things that can happen. You've got me up on the screen there. Oh, gosh. Okay. Yes. All right. I was on the range this morning for about 5 hours working with a lady, and it's very, very good, very good. I like doing private classes, real classes, and in fact, with the actors, it's just the laser guns, and these are people who come in who are many of them anti-gun. The entertainment industry leans a little bit to the left, like that, and. So
That's good.
Thank you. I let them know if after this 4-hour class, and they're shooting and they're hearing it because we've got it's almost like an arcade type of a situation, and they know how fast they're going, how fast they're going from the imaginary holster to actually using this laser pistol and hitting the target and hearing boom, 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 boom. Or hearing steel if we decide it's going to be a steel target. And okay, it took you 1.68 seconds to come from your holster to your first shot on target. And then between the first and the second, it took this long. And between the second and the third, it took this long. Okay. Now, at the end of this 4 hours, see how much faster you are, how much better you are, how much more confident you are. At the end of this 4 hours, you will look good on camera. You will not be embarrassed. You will not do stupid things. You will not set bad examples for people to emulate and cause potential death. And those of you who want to take it further, I've just showed you what the recoil will feel like, because when we put you in the position and you're holding the firearm, and then I hit the front of the laser gun, never in front of a real weapon, obviously. Hit it toward them and up a little bit. I said, that's the recoil. That's why you're bending forward. That's why you're in control of this weapon. It's not in control of you. Mine is an extension of my body. It does exactly what I tell it to do. It is 100% reliable. Well, if I shot it, it would jump around. Yes, because you don't listen to what I say, or you haven't gotten to that point yet. And I tell them, if you'd like to take the next step, if you would like to go to the range and use one of my weapons, or 6 or 7 of them, I don't care. Find out which one fits your hand. You want to see what it's like to shoot a real firearm? I'm open to that too. And in the packet of information we gave you, there are 2 $150 gift certificates that you can use toward that private training. I'm already 40% less than comparable instructors, and I'm very good. I'm the best instructor I know because of my personality, because I have fun with it, because I'm serious at the same time. And I like working privately with people to take them as fast as they can go to the position. I want people to get to the position where they can outshoot me. Damn. Has it happened? The lady who was I was working with this morning, in her 70s, She's outshot me like 6 times, maybe 7. That's pretty good. Yeah, out of several thousand, but still, I shoot competitively also. So, and I want to get people better and better and better and better. And I could do. We could do days. We could do a week's worth of answering of that question. And I don't know where else to go with it. People are interested. Send me. Well, you've got the email on the screen right now, and you've got what to put in the subject area, firearms training.
Yeah.
And yeah, I go places other than Southern California, but it's so much easier if you come here. I have several ranges that are incredibly good. I mean, I have a range. If you want to get to this point, we'll drive your car onto the range. You can shoot from a moving vehicle. You can stop the car, ambush situation, shoot under it, over it, around it. You can do anything. I'll get you to that point. And because the people know me and trust me and know that I'm always safe, never had an accident, never will. Safety is absolutely number one. I've had people who said, "Rock, you're paranoid. You're so safe. You're like paranoid." And my response is, "Yes, I am paranoid. But the real question is, am I paranoid enough?" What else do you want to talk about? If we start talking about firearms, it's going to be a firearm show.
Well, I want to get back to wrestling, and I actually fumbled on my first question. I asked what is supposed to be a question now, so I'm actually going to go revisit the question that I was originally supposed to ask. When when it comes to your career in professional wrestling, and you've had so many amazing matches, fought for the NWA World Title, what was one of those matches that stood out the most to you, and what's the significance of that match in your career?
Wow. Okay. Wrestling Pat Patterson was always wonderful. It was poetry in motion. We could do 45 minutes, and then one of us, like the crazy one here, would ask for 15 minutes more. I remember in San Jose, we would bring the house down, and I never thought much about it, but there were a couple of friends who went to San Jose, and actually we drove there and back together, and they said, "Wow, you really gave them their money's worth and then some." I said, "Oh, okay." And then Pat Patterson's comment that I mentioned earlier, that was pretty amazing. So anytime I could wrestle Pat Patterson, I wrestled Thesz when I was just starting in the business. I've wrestled everybody who Khosrow Vaziri, otherwise known as the Iron Sheik. That's an interesting story. Would you like to hear that story?
Would you please, if you would be...
Yeah.
I'm afraid not. I don't.
All right.
I don't know. I haven't gotten my $1,700 honorarium. That's a really cheap price for you guys. I usually charge a lot more. Do you know I was charging that when I was in college? I've just finished up in Georgia Championship Wrestling. I'm going to be booked into, been accepted to be booked into Vern Gagne's AWA. So on the way in, that's a long drive from Atlanta to Minneapolis. On the way in, that was Chicago's International Amphitheater. So I got a hotel in Chicago, northern part of Chicago, went to the amphitheater and wrestled there. In the dressing room were the Crusher, who else? My gosh, Baron von Raschke, Bobby Heenan, the Brain, Stan Kowalski, the Big K, world champion. Oh my gosh. One of the toughest guys ever in the history of our business. Come on, help me, guys.
Well, if you say that, I just think Haku.
Not him.
I was going to say Harley Race. But...
Harley Race is a good one, too.
Yes, Harley Race. And several other major people. Stan Kowalski, the Big K, he says, "Hey, kid." I said, "Yeah." He says, "Who are you wrestling tonight?" And I said, I have no idea. Very seldom did I ever know who I was wrestling. And in many cases, the first time I ever saw the person was as they're coming toward me from the other side of the arena toward the ring. Same thing here. He says, "Who's got a program? Let's find out." Oh, crap. Riddle, you were wrestling Khosrow Vaziri. Okay, sit down. Listen, I got to tell you, man, I like you, and if I didn't like you, I wouldn't tell you this. I'll clean it up. This Khosrow guy, he's a bit of an a-hole. No, hey, I got to tell you this, man. I'd feel so bad if I let you go out there and you didn't know. This guy is like a human vice, and when he does that and he gets like that tight, that vice-like with you, here's what you got to do. You bend him over the rope backward. You haul off and you hit him. And I mean, you hit him hard. And that way he'll loosen up a little bit and you have a good match. And I said, well, okay, thank you. I had no idea. As I'm going to the ring, I see from the opposite of the Khosrow Vasiri became the Iron Sheik, in case someone doesn't know that. So I see this guy coming from the other direction. I remember my thought process. Guy looks like he's in good shape. He's confident. He's walking with confidence. He obviously has an amateur wrestling background also. This should be a good match. I tie up with him. He gets like this. I said, okay. Thanks, Stan. You told me. I back him up over the rope. Where is it? Right there. Whoa, back him up. And I hit him. Bap! You can hear it echoing in the building. He looks at me like this. He could not believe that I just did that to him. But he loosens up, and we have a good match until he gets like a vice again. I said, oh, I guess it's only good for a certain amount of time. I'll back him back over again, back him way over here. And this time, I'm airborne when I come down, and I hit him. And I hit him hard, not enough to leave marks or permanent marks, but I hit him hard. For the rest of the match, he is looking at me in absolute, total, utter disbelief. I wish I could get a copy of the video. There's got to be something out there. But I just want to see his face because I saw it in person, but I wanted to see if it came on film.
Goodness.
And we're wrestling, and the expression stays there. Sorry about that. And then after the match is over, I'm heading back up to the dressing room, and there's stairs that go up to the dressing room, and all of these major players, major stars, major legends, they're all out. They're not in the dressing room. They're along the stairs. They've watched the match. And some are smiling and some are like talking like that to their friends. And it's like a little laughter maybe. And I'm looking to see if there's a wardrobe malfunction or why they're laughing at me. I couldn't figure it out. I go in the dressing room. Stan Kowalski, the big K, who told me about this guy, he's laughing too, but he's more like rolling on the floor laughing. He says, do you have any idea who you just wrestled? That's Khosrow Vasiri. He was a personal bodyguard to the Shah of Iran. He's a gold medal wrestling Olympic wrestler. He's one of the toughest SOBs on this planet. I thought they'd bring you back on a stretcher, kid. I said, so, Stan, in other words, welcome to the AWA. He says, welcome to the AWA, kid. Khosrow loved that story. He did not hear it until after 2 years later. And when I told the story, Bill Apter asked, who was interviewing Khosrow, he asked me if I would come up and tell the story. I did it in front of Khosrow, and I added the most important part of the story. I said, this guy could have twisted me into a pretzel or much worse. in an instant.
The cheeky baby.
And I think we had mutual respect for each other and became friends. I think he thought that I might be on his level, and it's like, this guy's either out of his mind or he may be able to go with me here. So, and then every time I ran into him in a public situation, he would want me to tell the story. So I told the story. I miss him.
Yeah.
I have so many friends who are gone now. And I keep telling them every time I put on my Facebook, what do you call it? Timeline. Every time I talk about, here's someone who has passed away. And I'll put something down there like this occasionally. To all of my other legendary friends, cut it out. Losing too many people.
Yeah.
I thought that was poignant, if that's the right word. What else do you want to know?
No,
did we finish
no.
answering your question?
Well, let's see. Well, we've got. Well, there's one more
covered
thing I want to touch on here.
Okay.
And I'm going to bring this in, so you might want to look at that other screen there. So this is you last year.
Yes.
At the George Tragos Luthez Wrestling Hall of Fame of you receiving the Impact Award.
Yeah.
So I got two things here. First, because I'm not familiar, and I'm so sorry, I'm going to have to do some more research. What the Impact Award, obviously, Impact means you've done a great deal to the business. So
I never asked for a definition. I assumed it meant my impact on the world, or certainly the wrestling world, but I think on the world. So that's the way I want to interpret it. So therefore I do. And it's just like, here's another heading for someone who's being inducted into the Hall of Fame. So part of the class of 2023. That's the one I wanted, by the way. And I'll tell you, because you had asked before and I never did get around to answering it, which you were talking about Hall of Fames and stuff. Jerry Briscoe had told me for a couple of years, and especially Jim Ross, good old JR. Jim says, Rock, you need to go to that Thesz, that Hall of Fame. You need to go to Waterloo. You really need to go there. And I said, well, thank you. Yeah, I'll look into it. And I had no interest because I didn't really know what it was. Then Jerry Briscoe kicked in. He says, Rock, seriously, you should go. So I went. And the first day I was there, by the way, this happens July 18, 19, and 20.
Yes.
Be there. And if you say, well, I'd like to, but, that means you wouldn't like to. The but just changed what you said prior. There are no excuses not to be there. Rock will be wrestling. I'm taking on their champion. Jerry Briscoe, and I'll talk about that if you'd like. Jerry Briscoe.
I thought I had it. I thought I had the slide. Let me see about that. But yeah.
Okay. Jerry Briscoe nominated me for the Hall of Fame. If I were half as good, 1/5 as good as Jerry Briscoe thinks I am, man, you'd have to grease the sides of my head to get them through the door. He's like a great. I look at people. I have so many people who have so many wonderful things to say about me and what I've contributed to this business, and each time it's like, okay, it's just like Pat Patterson saying I had some of the greatest matches in my career with this man. I look at that and say, okay, what's the punchline? And still hearing it over and over and over and over from all these legends, then I said, gee, maybe I am pretty good. Yeah. And because if people who are not in the business, they say, you were in the wrestling business? I would say yes. Or like high school, college, or what we see on television. Yes. Really? You wrestled professionally? Were you any good? I'll look at them and say, I was one of the best in the world. Because that's what I think. Even though I'm very humble and I'm surprised when other people say stuff, but I made an impact. Okay, so Jerry Lawler had what was the word? Give me a word. Give me a word. Had inducted. No, he had nominated me for the Hall of Fame, and I didn't get the votes apparently initially, but then I did, and probably 5 years later, and I remember a joke talking to the promoter. He says, "You're getting in this year." I said, "Yeah, okay." I said, "Seriously, I don't want it posthumously." He says, "No, I'm serious. You're getting in this year." I said, "Okay." But that's the one I always wanted. I thought that was an incredibly prestigious um, award. Now, what you're seeing on the screen, I have to explain that. I had set up a match, a rematch. Legend versus legend, a rematch after decades. Rock Riddle, the original Mr. Wonderful of professional wrestling, versus Jerry, the King Lawler, in a rematch to end all rematches, et cetera, et cetera. And Jerry was really wanting to do it. And we were going to be doing it on July 20th at the Hall of Fame in Waterloo, Iowa. Jerry he knew he was going to be cleared medically, and he was not. So then the promoter, Troy Peterson, yeah,
Mhm.
Troy said, "Who else?" And I said, "It has to be a legend. I don't want to just wrestle just somebody. It has to be something that's meaningful. And how can we go from Jerry Lawler and Rock Riddle to Rock Riddle and anybody else, to be very honest?" And then I thought about it, and I said, "Okay, I'll go. I'll wrestle. I'll do something." And I told them, because I'm going through all of these different people in my mind. Who would I like to wrestle? Oh, why don't I just do something and I can do something greatly. In fact, um, I'll get his name, Chavo Guerrero. Of course, I wrestled the original Chavo Classic, and I never wrestled Junior or Chavito. And Chavito, I'll call him Chavo now, but Chavo said, "Hey, Rock Riddle, I charge a lot of money to wrestle. I'd wrestle you for nothing." I said, "Oh, and I have that on video also." I said, "That's what a great compliment." And I mentioned to the promoter, I said, "I'll get Chavo. That'll be great. I just need to make sure I can take, I'll find out that night that I can still take like that Three Amigos thing, which is a tribute to Eddie. And I would not want to wrestle Chavo without that happening, because it has to be something on that higher level." And then I was told that Chavo had just been up in Iowa, and that's probably not the way to go. I said, fine. So I thought about it for a few days, and I said, give me Jeffries. Give me your sort of local hero who's a really good guy. I mean, I can play with it right now and tell you how I'm going to give him a wrestling legend lesson. The legend will give him a lesson, humiliate him, embarrass him, um, and take his belt, stuff like that. But I will also tell you, and if you read the press releases that have come out, that's basically what's out there. Um, and nobody knows really what's going to happen. Nobody. Nobody will until it's over. But I said, this kid is really good. He will never go. He will never become super internationally known. He's happy where he is, and I think that's great. He has a family. I think that's great. But I said, yeah, I'll wrestle him. Thought about it. It seemed to make sense. And it's also hometown hero. Legend comes out of retirement to take the belt, to give the kid, the punk, a wrestling lesson. And I'm going to retire the belt. You mean you're not going to defend it? I'll defend. I will never defend the belt. Well, you're going to put it in your trophy room, right? Your your 1,800 square foot trophy room. No, it's 3,200 square feet, and no, I'll probably just melt it down. That's what the press release says. Take a look at the press releases. Hopefully, you can do a Google search and you can find that. Do Jeffries, Rock Riddle versus James Jeffries. legend, whatever it happens to be. I don't remember what the titles are of the 2 press releases that are out. There was going to be another press release, and now I think it's going to change. But I was about to give you some inside information, and I don't think I will do that.
Nah.
But I figure this will be good. I mean, it's not like going against Lawler, but I'm not going to just pull myself out of the thing altogether. And I'm sure I think this will be a good match. And what I want to happen, I'll tell you, I want the boys in the back, the wrestlers in the back, to be really, really concerned when the 2 of us are in the ring and not know what to do about it.
There you go.
Some of you will understand that. Some of you will not. It will not be explained. So anyway, that's something. And people say, "Oh, are you training?" I don't need to train to beat their local legend. This, oh my God, this medium-sized fish in a teeny tiny little pond in the middle of flyover country. Oh golly gee whiz. So many people know me, and I think most people think I'm a really nice guy with a weird sense of humor. And most people like me. And then once I slip into that character, they hate me. And I probably would too. But if I didn't love it, if I didn't love myself there. What else do you want to talk about? Or did I not answer the question again?
No, because I was actually going to see, how you're going to prepare yourself with him, because I actually faced this guy last year. He actually came in town for a special show, and I actually him and I did battle in the ring already. So I already know how Mr. Jeffries is, and he can be pretty crafty. Trust me, he's quicker than he looks. So.
Well, let me put it this way. I could see him saying, "I'm going to beat Rock Riddle." And then I would look him in the eye and say, "Good, do it. If you can."
Right.
You want to beat me? Bring a lunch. It's going to take you a while.
Right.
No.
Exactly.
No. Hey, you really want an old school guy in the ring with you?
No. I mean, yes and no.
No,
there are not a lot of reasons that you would say yes. There are some reasons that one would say no also.
Yeah.
But we'll just see. Once I'm in the ring, it's a different person. And it's I love the person I create in the ring. And it's hard for me not to become that person a little bit now, talking about this upcoming match.
You always have these good old boys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're
great.
I'm always raised on old school. But
hey, you say these good old boys, you mean like the fans who decide that they want to come in the ring? I'll hold the ropes open.
Oh my gosh. I can't tell you how many shows I've actually had that happen. That's
I protect the business, always have, always will. And if it's like someone wants to come in, boom, they'll be carried out. Because I have no choice, and because it's what I want to do. Okay, boy, this is going to be played in court if this actually happens. That I hurt some fan. I was going to say Mizark, but nobody will. If they know what Mizark means, that's fine. If they don't, that's fine too. What else? Okay, we're going to quit talking about that, because then I have to become that person. I'll become that person in the dressing room as I go out to meet this guy. You know what? I'm really magnanimous, and I may even do this. One of the press releases quoted me in this. I may just, knowing that the guy he has a family, and what could happen, maybe I would give him the opportunity to concede defeat, to shake my hand and have people take pictures to hold my hand in victory, and then assuming that any of his children, what does he have, 2 kids, 3, I don't know, but
Think so.
assuming that they grow up and the world has sort of healed a little bit and they find people of the opposite sex so that they can have children also. I think that still happens a little bit, but then he will be able to say, yeah, to my grandkids, I just want to say, you see that poster on the wall? That's me holding the hand up of Rock Riddle, original Mr. Wonderful. And he gave me the opportunity to concede defeat and get that picture, and I did. And he's really magnanimous. And I got to tell you this. I'm so proud of that picture. I'm so proud I made the correct decision and conceded defeat to him. And because I ain't really sure if you guys would exist, if I would have these grandchildren if it hadn't been for that. Who knows what he might have done to me? How's that? He won't see this, will he?
No,
Maybe.
I didn't tag him in it, but
I might have to.
No. You give him no advance notice.
10-4, boss.
The
I'm not
things
gonna tell him.
you see, what I like to do is I like to shock people. I like to do something so outrageous that I did something in Vegas when I was wrestling there. 6 people in the back. 6 of the wrestlers called 911. I'm not going to tell you any more about it, but I got them.
Man, wow.
Magic. That's magic that happens in the ring. Absolute magic. It's also sacred ground. So I am honored every time I'm able to step inside of that ring. So I'm honored. I think they sell this thing out every year, so I figure a few thousand people. It'll be a small arena for me, but still.
Right.
It's a good payday.
Hey, I was in, I think it was Mississippi or Alabama somewhere, and to show you the difference between today and a few years back. I went to this, called it a spot show, a little place. It was a little one-time wrestling event. I go there and I look through the curtains and I said, gee, it's time and there's nobody here. And I literally went to the promoter and I said, you got maybe 700 people out there. Are you going to run? You're going to cancel, right? He says, no, we're going to run. I said, for 700 people? Now, there's so many promotions, they just dream of someday having as many as 500 or 600 people in the arena at one time. So the times they have changed a bit. Can we go back? Of course we can go back.
Always.
Go back to wrestling. What other questions do you have for me?
Well, I mean, we actually had, that was it that I had here. Because I know there's quite a bit, like I said, there's so much you've done. I mean, there's a lot we haven't touched on. I figure I might get some points here, but I know that one point is to make sure that people know about the George Tragos Thesz National Wrestling Hall of Fame, Waterloo, Iowa, apparently the birthplace of the NWA. And then, of course, where you received your Hall of Fame award last year, you're going back this year, and you're competing for the Impact Pro Wrestling Heavyweight Championship against.
I am taking it. Yes.
You're taking it. Yes.
I'm taking it.
So,
yes. By the way, the first time that I went to that Hall of Fame, to that yearly event, I had been there for about 30 minutes. And I said, how much is a lifetime membership? I said, here. So I was so impressed with that. And I told JR, I said, I wish I had listened to you earlier. He and, again, Jerry Briscoe had been pushing me. And it turned out to be an incredibly good experience. Those people who have not gone, if there are tickets still available, go. If there are no tickets still available,
Go.
figure out a way, because there are no obstacles, only solutions. Well, I can't do that because don't want to hear it. Yeah, of course you can do it. Hey, you want a fast story? I'll tell you something. Say yes or no.
Yes.
Of course. Years ago, there was something called NTC, National Telephone and Communications. It was a multi-level marketing company that sold long-distance telephone when people were a service when people were having $400, $500, $600, $700 a month long-distance phone bills. I remember there was a fellow who was making 7 figures in this organization, and a lot of the people he brought in were making 6-figure monthly or more. He was having a big event at the Holiday Inn in Burbank, California. He had probably 300 potential people there. And as he was talking about, here's what you do, here's what you say, here's the amount of money that you make. There's 100 people here who have checks that they've gotten this week, and they'll show you the checks. Investigate it. We're on the stock exchange. We're doing really, really well. The stock is going great. And he says, and after he talked about it all, he says, and everything you need to be in business for yourself for the first year, all of the training, all of the supplies, everything is $695. And you have your own business. And then he looked at them. His name was Paul Yao. And Paul said, well, I see. Paul Yao, 6'3" Chinese man. He said he ate Texas long grain rice to be that big. He says, I see a lot of you were very, very excited, and then when I told you it cost $695, you're not excited anymore. You're saying, oh my gosh, there's no way in the world I could do that. He says, I understand. That's the same thing that happened to me. I had no idea. Oh, by the way, before I forget it, he said, when you guys, most of you parked in the parking structure here at Holiday Inn, right? When you came in, did you notice you had to pass it? There is a brand new Rolls Royce. It's midnight blue, and that's a $320,000 automobile. I would like to let you know, the first one here who brings me $25,000 cash tomorrow morning, it's yours. Dramatic pause. Now, honestly, he said, all of you who could not figure out any way in the world to come up with $695 have lots of ways of bringing me $25,000 cash in the morning, don't you? He got them. And that's what people need to understand. It's not, well, I don't know. I can't go to this Hall of Fame thing. I mean, I'll go next year. Yeah? Who do you want to meet? Who do you want to meet? Your heroes who will be there. Put it off another year. Will they still be there? You have the opportunity to say thank you and shake their hands. Isn't that something you'd like to have? Like to have accomplished in your lifetime?
Man.
You know?
That makes you so much feel better about like going to the Fan Fest, but what Herb and them are starting to do in SICW. Because I got to meet Medusa this past year.
Yeah.
We got to get to Iowa sometime, Ruby.
What do you mean sometime? Yeah. It's like a week and a half from now, I think.
Yeah, and I'm already booked a week and a half from now. So.
Then you unbook. See, if it's important enough to you, then you'll find a way. If it's not, you find an excuse. And if you see how important these things are, then no excuse is big enough to miss them. I have people who say, I really want to accomplish this. And in the acting business, I was a Screen Actors Guild franchise talent agent as well, owned 50% of a Beverly Hills-based talent agency. I've got so many different things that I've done. And I sold my half because I wasn't having fun. It wasn't fun anymore. Making tons of money, but it wasn't fun so I sold it. But I would talk to people, and they would say, "I really want to be an actor who, with international flair and someone who's appreciated by their work, and I'd love to have I want to have a role on a series, etc." And I would say, "Okay, this event you should attend." "Oh, I'm busy that day." "Wait a minute, did you not tell me you wanted to be majorly successful? Do you have any idea who is going to be there and the people to whom I can introduce you personally?" Now, when you were telling me that you wanted to be majorly successful, were you serious or were you just kidding me? And it's true. And we would come up with all sorts of excuses, and all of them are valid. They make sense. They're logical. But to not see your heroes and to not be a part of this wonderful business is not logical. Yeah. Whoever, name anybody. I hate to name anybody who's already been named. Okay, I'm going to do it anyway. It's like Jerry Briscoe. 2 years ago, I think it was 2 years. No, it was last year. We thought we had lost him. He passed out. He went in an ambulance. So you have to think about. Now, I hope that he's around for another 50 years. I hope he's around for 200 more years. Jerry, may you live to be another 200 years, and may the last words you ever hear be mine. But let's say he's a hero of yours, and you say, "Well, I'll meet him next year." Well, hopefully for the next year and the next year and the next year and the next year that will happen. But there will be other people who will not be there. I promise you, and you will kick yourself for not meeting them. Anyway, next question or comment or whatever.
Gerald Briscoe is a good one to have, like, because I 2 years ago, FanFest 1, going back to the SICW stuff, because like that's they're learning from Waterloo and Cauliflower Alley Club and kind of bringing it to the local area, the St. Louis area, right? And Gerald Briscoe came and sat right beside me on screen when we were doing a show there. And I definitely 100%, you could see the little fanboy in me, because he is the reason, him and Pat Patterson are the whole reason I am a fan of comedy wrestling. It is their fault that I like comedy wrestling for the stuff they were doing in the Attitude Era. And then it made me want to go and look at all their old school stuff. And then I just fell in love with them all over again. So it is getting to see and touch them different generations that Waterloo, the Cauliflower Alley Club, the Fan Fest that SICW continued to do, and hopefully we see a third one next year for the St. Louis area. Those events are very precious, and everyone that should go and could go should be there. But I want to see my home promotion kick ass. So
yeah, there's also one in North Carolina called WrestleCade. It's the day after Thanksgiving.
Yes,
that one's huge, very huge. I don't know how it can get any bigger. 10,000 people went through there over 3 days last year.
That's crazy.
And you can even come to my table and buy stuff.
There you go.
Have it personally autographed. Then take a picture of this thing autographed, this picture autographed, me holding it up and you holding it up. And then you can show it to your children and your grandchildren. And you can have people who will say, "Oh my gosh, you actually know Rock Riddle." Not only do I know him, but I have a picture here. Look at this. I have a video. I took video. And I had my friends sneak a video, so when they're talking, that we got it all on video too. Yeah,
man.
We never know. I was at Neverland Valley Ranch before Michael Jackson passed away. Notice I didn't say I did the politically correct part. Who was that guy who killed him? Sorry about that, scumbag. But he was in a movie that I was in, and his give back, he had a cameo, and his give back was to offer Neverland for the rap party. So we were there from early morning till really late at night. Everybody had to have identifying armbands except for two of us. One was the producer and one was me. So that was pretty cool. But to be able to meet someone and to tell him, I say, I understand. I feel like I understand you so much. so well because I feel like I never had a childhood either, and I had to like parent myself, and so and I know stuff that other people don't know. So the press and reality very seldom come into sync with each other. So it's like now that he's gone, had I not been able to meet him and say thanks and I appreciate what you do and hey, etc., then I would have felt bad that did not happen. Had I not have been able to talk to Rip Hawk and tell him that he was the most influential person ever in my life and how grateful I was, then I would have felt horrible when he passed away. Um, I told uh, Jerry Briscoe. I said, I just wanted you to know. This is probably the last one of the last events I saw him, and I said, I just wanted to let you know how much I appreciate you, and you know, learned a lot from you. And of course, we wrestled each other a whole bunch of times, and I just wanted to say thanks. You've my life is better because of knowing you. Easy to say when it's true. I was honored when I was on stage. Look at the people who were up there. Even the one that was for the great Professor Boris Maximilianovich Malenko. Wow. I mean, he was obviously he's not there in person. His son was there, but it felt like he was on stage with us, and he was a boyhood idol of mine. Okay, I'll stop, and you can ask me the next question. Or say, thanks a lot, Rock. Thanks a lot, Rock. Get out. Turn your camera off. We can't stand the great beauty.
Yeah, no. Well, I mean, like I said, we actually had a good handful of questions here for you. Like I said, we're just kind of touching in on some of the highlights you've gotten here. We always love the stories. We always love good wrestling stories. I love good road stories myself because I've traveled. I love good road stories. And
I have a few.
A lot of the guys are like, a lot of these stories I can't share because you have whatever reasons why. And trust me, I know the reasons why some of these guys can't share. But I mean, it's but I give them either like a good road story or a fan experience. I give them that option. So, I mean, if you got anything like that, I mean, I'm definitely all ears for that.
How about a little philosophy?
I love that too.
Share some truth with some people. Let's see if I can say something that will touch some people's lives. I would like to give all of you watching a gift. It is the 10 most powerful 2-letter words in the English language. And I would suggest that if you accept it, if you reject it, I keep the gift and I don't care. I like the gift. But if you accept it, I suggest you print it out, put it on your wall. The 10 most powerful 2-letter words in the English language are, if it is to be, it is up to me. Quit waiting for others to do it for you. I'm waiting for my ship to come in. No, swim out to it. Opportunities are never missed. They are simply passed on to the next person. How many more are you going to miss? How many more are you going to pass on to the next person? Every day above ground is a good day. Every day above ground is a good day. So the worst day of my life was a good day. It was a day I thought I would die. Hospital was asking me, what are your wishes? I said, my wishes, I want you to put banners all over this room that say resuscitate with as many exclamation points. And I want it written right here, resuscitate. Even if it means I'm in a coma for 100 years. And they said, well, Rock, if you're in a coma for 100 years and then you come out of the coma and medical science is so advanced that we could do that, that all the people you know and love will be gone. Oh, you said I can make new friends. Resuscitate. Every day is another opportunity to make a difference, another opportunity to lead by example. and life is a beautiful gift. So don't avoid it. Don't take things to avoid it. It's a series of challenges. Ooh, I could leave you with one in case if we are if I'm astute enough to see to imagine that we are actually wrapping up right now. Nod your head,
Yeah.
yes or no.
Well, yeah,
Okay, we got 3 more hours, Rock. Good. Be quiet, and I'll tell you 3 hours worth of stuff. Okay, this will be PG. Okay, there was an old. Yeah, I have to keep reminding myself. I don't use bad language anyway because I have enough command of the English language. I don't have to resort to vulgarities. However, if I'm directly quoting someone, then I may say, "This. Are you okay with this? These are the exact words." Now I forgot what I was going to tell you. What was I telling you?
You're going to leave us some facts.
I have no idea what I was going to say now. I'll remember when we're finished. I was going to tell you something that was going to make a great. Oh, there was an episode, just to put things in perspective. There was an old episode like a Twilight Zone. I think it was a Twilight Zone. And I saw it when I was a kid, so I don't think I've seen it since. So this is the way I remember it. There was this guy. He was a bad guy. He was a petty thief. He was not the nicest. He was a womanizer. He was a drinker. He was a gambler. He would sometimes drink so much that he would pass out and have no idea what happened the night before or how he got where he was. This happened one day. He woke up in a casino, and it was a classier place than he would normally be. And he had no idea what the heck did I do last night. Notice how I said heck. What the heck did I do last night? I can't remember that. I don't know where I am. I know I don't have any money, but because I'm in a casino, man, this would gambling. If I had money, this would be great. Put his hand in his pocket, and he pulled out this big wad of $100 bills. And he says, "What did I do last night?" Oh, put his other hand in his other pocket, came up with another big wad of $100 bills. So he starts gambling. The first hand he won. The second hand he won. The third, fourth, fifth hand he won. Now he's gotten to the point he just won 13 in a row. One of the hostesses, comes over and says, "What would you like to drink?" And he told her, and it's like she already had it on the tray for him. And she says, "Anything else?" He says, "Yeah." "What time do you get off?" She says, 2:00. He just scored. He's like, wow. Another one came up. He hit on her too. And she says, fine. So he's got like women saying yes. He's continually winning. He continued playing. He continued winning every single hand. He says, I can't lose. I can't lose. Everything. He looked at the dealer and he says, I have no idea how I got here. I have no idea what happened. He says, but I keep winning. I keep winning. If I didn't know better, I would think that maybe I died and went to heaven. And the dealer says, you're half right. He had died and gone to hell. Because if you cannot lose, how long will it be before you slice your wrists? What's the purpose of winning if you cannot lose? It has no value. So that just goes to show if you're not willing to fall down when you're learning how to ice skate, you'll never learn how to ice skate. If the parents say, I'll ask the parents of this little tiny kid, well, your kid tried to take a step first time and fell down. How many times are you going to allow that kid to try to take a step and fall down before you say that's it? You're never walking. Well, my child will take as many times as necessary until they learn to walk. Yeah, well, why won't you do that with you?
There you go.
All you have to do to be successful, all you have to do is stand up one time more than you fall down. Failure is a part of success. Failure is a part of success. I have so many incredibly successful, and especially if you consider wealthy financially, so many people I know who are millionaires many times over, and I know a couple of billionaires. But one thing they all have in common, I think virtually every one of them has lost everything at least once. And when they bounce back, they don't just stay there. I lost everything, I'm going to blow my brains out. I lost everything, so I bounce back. Boom! I bounce back higher than I have ever been before. You're in control, whatever you decide. If you, again, I've already said it, whatever you believe. If you believe you can, you're right. If you believe you cannot, you're right. Bumblebees cannot fly. Did you know that? Yes, in addition to everything else, Rock Riddle is a private pilot. Grumman 2879 or 728, right, crosswind departure, we have information. Delta. Okay, so
They actually levitate.
Okay. Well, you just killed my story, but that's okay. Did I sign a waiver for this show? If not, I'll let you know. No, my attorney will be in touch, and he'll let you know how much it's going to cost you.
No? Okay, buddy.
I'm going to tell the story anyway because obviously you're wrong. What? You have a weird sense of humor. People who have weird senses of humor are so difficult to understand. Okay, private pilot. We know, according to all aeronautical knowledge. This says my microphone's off.
I can still hear you, though.
Yeah, you're still loud and clear.
Wow. Wonder what happens if I press it. I'm not going to mess it up. No. It could go poof. And people will say, I wonder what's going to be the end of that story. I want to know about the bumblebees. Bumblebees are aerodynamically unsound. Their bodies are too fat. Their wings are too short. It is impossible for them to fly. And according to all aeronautical knowledge, if we built an exact duplicate, put a little engine in there, a little motor in there, turn it on, it's going to go bzzz, directly into the ground. Bumblebees cannot fly. It is impossible. All scientific knowledge, all aeronautical knowledge, everybody who knows will tell you they cannot fly. It's true. They cannot. The kicker is that bumblebees don't know they can't fly, so they fly anyway. Most people know they cannot succeed, therefore they cannot.
Yeah, I've heard
Is it possible? Well, Rock, is it possible? Yes. Well, you don't know what I'm going to say. Doesn't matter. If you think it's possible, it's possible. Oh, the stories I could tell you that defy physical science and logic. You say, that's true? That actually happened? Strange stuff. We have so much more power than we think we do. All right.
Yeah.
So I've inspired some people. I've turned other people off, and the people I turned off, hey, you're going to fail anyway. So they're, give it up. You're a failure.
We are not worthy. We are not worthy.
You're sucking up air that could be breathed by decent people.
Dang.
It's like I see people now. Rock Riddle, being the wonderful person he is, he would never say anything like that. Did I just say was? Oh my gosh! I think I'm still here. He would never say to a homeless beggar, "Suicide could be the answer." Have you ever considered suicide might be the answer? Then you wouldn't have to bother decent people. You scumbag. Do you realize the so-called government thieves steal over 50% of everything that I make? Tax me everywhere, over half, and they give it to low lifes like you. No, not that I would ever be controversial.
Never.
Are we actually really going to end that way? Give me something positive, a positive note. Hey, Riddle, we don't like you.
Not anything positive. I mean, the only thing I can think of positive is you showing up at Waterloo on July 18th, 19th, and 20th, which I believe the card is on the 20th. So it's on the last day. Right.
And this is very good because people will like me for the first few days. I'll actually be there. I think I'm getting in on the 17th.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Flying up to, what is the Des Moines. Yeah, 2-hour drive away. So I'll fly up there, get a car. Because my airline, my preferred airline doesn't go to the Cedar City, whatever it is. Is that
Cedar
it?
Rapids?
Oh,
Cedar Rapids, yeah, whatever. See, I make everyone hate me there because it's like, oh, the flyover country. Yeah, that's not important.
I mean, I have hatred for Iowa, but that's because of one of my buddies. So,
no, it's a good thing that I'm wrestling on the last night because I think for the first 2 days that people see me, they will like me and they will think I'm such a nice guy and stuff because I am. And then, depending on what happens in the match, when's the last time they had a full scale riot at a wrestling match?
maybe a minute.
I could do that. Now, promoters, I am just kidding. I would never do anything bad. No, not me. I've told promoters though. I've said, whatever you want. You want a riot? I can give you a riot. Oh, that doesn't happen anymore. Bet me, I can't have these people coming in the ring after me.
Wow.
I was shot at a few times. I had a gun taken away from the police. Told me again somewhere in the South. They said, "Rock, we're going to walk you out to your car tonight." And do you recall that guy at ringside in the wheelchair with a blanket in his lap? I said, "Oh yeah, the guy who said he's going to kill me." One of them. And they said, "Yeah, well, under that blanket was a loaded pistol, and he told us that was for you. We saved your life. Just wanted to let you know. So if you ever decide to return the favor, I said, whatever you want. Thank you very much." San Francisco Cow Palace. I wish I could find, hopefully this guy's still alive and I can find him. I was wrestling, I think it was a main event. It was certainly one of the last few matches. And there was you don't normally have riots in the first few matches, but riot broke out. I remember saying the most atrocious things to fans, and depending on the way they looked, they got different insults. That's as far as I will go. And then we sort of got trapped by the fans. It looked like they were going to engulf us. All of the law enforcement who were working the match for security, I think the smallest one was like 6'4". These were massive people. They were in full riot gear. And I remember this black gentleman who was in, after I just insulted somebody who may have been related to him, but he took his helmet off. He says, "We're going to get you safely back there." And he put the helmet on me. That was just amazing. And by the way, for those of you who don't know, because I keep looking over there, that's because I've got a monitor over there that shows me the people to whom I'm speaking. I know that you're all right there. But at least you get to see. Want to see my good side? Let me turn around. Okay. And so many times I took knives away from people who would pull knives on me, and I chased them into a hostile crowd, took the knives away. And should I tell you what I did at that point? No, never did anything bad. I just put my finger in their eye socket up to here, hooked it on the other side, and looked at them straight in the eye. These are people who pulled knives on me. And they knew at any point, if I were so inclined, I could remove that eye. Never would. But I took pride in the fact that one night I saw the guy, one of these people afterward, and his eye was bloodshot. So the worst I ever did to give someone a bloodshot eye. But I promise you, I scared them. Whoa. It was fun. The good old days of professional wrestling, back when wrestling was real. And we really took our lives in our hands every single night, which explains why we have such incredibly extreme senses of humor. Same as police officers who risk their lives. They never know if they're going to go home. Same with surgeons who deal with life and death. People who deal with life and death all the time, they generally have an extreme sense of humor. That's why I have so many friends in law enforcement and have surgeon friends and stuff like that. And your final question to Rock Riddle, the diamond ring and Cadillac man, the man who possesses the body that men fear and women love, the intercontinental lover, the Rolls Royce of wrestling, 4-time Hall of Famer, Rock Riddle. Your final burning question is...
what do you think about the... I'm going to ask you, why not? You say that you're the original Mr. Wonderful.
Yes.
Have you ever met Paul Lorndorff and discussed why?
What's the word why? Why what?
Yeah. Well, have you guys ever made a have you had that discussion of who's the better Mr. Wonderful?
I think it's pretty obvious. He's not here to defend himself, but I will tell you that hey, you want an honest answer.
Yeah.
Had he, while I was out, I got out of the wrestling business for a while. Had he, during that period of time, come to me and said, "Hey, Roddy Piper says that you're not real active anymore, and I'd like to use that gimmick. Do you have a problem with that?" I probably would have said, "No, go out and knock yourself out. That'll be great. Thanks." But because he never asked, I wouldn't say hard feelings, but it's like you could have at least come and said and asked instead of stealing. I was at, I believe it was CAC in Las Vegas, and I had just been interviewed. I'm in the dressing room for whatever reason, and a lot of the guys are back there, and they're going back and forth. So I'd just been interviewed, television, radio. I don't even remember what it was. And then when I finished, Orndorff was there, and the fellow who interviewed me turned to him as he was walking by, and he says, "Paul, Rock Riddle says he's the original Mr. Wonderful." And I looked at the person doing the interview, and I said, "That's because I am." And Orndorff sort of backed up and walked away. So if there's any significance there, I don't know. I understand that he was a wonderful person, and everybody to whom I've spoken who knew him says, "Hey, you really like the guy. He's a good guy." I spoke to him. I said hello. At one time, this gets into an area where I'm not going to do it. But at one time, he was talking to me. For whatever reason, we were it would be awkward not to say hello in that particular situation. And he said, "Yeah, I'm probably not going to be around. I've got this," whatever it was that he had. And he says, "But I'm ready to go. I'm okay with it." I thought that was interesting. I'm not going. If you want to talk privately with me, I'll tell you the significance of all of that. But then we get into a long discussion if I do it here in front of everybody, and it gets into metaphysical healing, all sorts of different things, where it takes a great explanation, explanation.
I see you, my friend.
Yeah,
you see that?
Yeah, I understand.
You feel the power, yeah.
I get what he's saying, actually.
Oh, yeah.
You have to know the full story.
That's very astute of you. Okay, you want to hear one? If we want to go into that area for just a moment or two?
I'll open the door. I'll open the door, yeah.
Okay, and then we're not going to take it any further. I had a friend, when I was an agent, I had a partner, and I owned 50% of the Screen Actors Guild Franchise Talent Agency, Beverly Hills, based, as I said before. My partner, so hopefully nobody investigates and figures out who it is, but if they do, they do. I told my partner, I said, you're going to conceive, you're going to have a child, you're going to have a son. He will be a leader of people, a leader of men. And she says, well, that's going to be a surprise to my husband. I said, well, I just what I see. She became pregnant. She had an ultrasound, and she says, you're wrong. Not a boy, a girl. And I said, no, your doctor's wrong. I said, could it be a lady who's the leader of men and yeah, of course it could, but that's not what I see, and I think they're wrong. Then did something called, I believe, amniocentesis, something like that.
Sure.
Amniocentesis, and she says, okay, you're right, it's a boy. I said, okay, fine. I got a phone call. I'm going to shorten this up. Got a phone call from her. I think it was on a Sunday night, about 10 o'clock at night, 9:30, 10 o'clock. She says that she's at the Santa Monica Hospital in Santa Monica, California. And she said, there's something, gosh, can I do this without reliving it? She said, there's something wrong with the baby. I said, oh, they've been born prematurely. And she's at Santa Monica Hospital. I said, okay, and why are you asking me this? Now, this is someone who doesn't believe anything if she can't feel it, touch it, see it. Otherwise, no, don't believe it. Don't believe it. It's all crap. She said, I said, why are you asking? How can I help you? What? She says, can you come heal him? Whoa. I drove to the hospital. I think it was the third floor where the newborns were. And there was one, after visiting hours, I had no business. I'm not related to anyone. So I walk, the elevator opens, I go to this particular floor, and there's one person on duty. And she says, may I help you? And I'll just use a generic name, but I said, my sense of humor, I said, yeah, I came to heal the Smith boy. She says, put a cloak on before you go back there. She's not going to call me on that. A stranger coming after hours saying crazy stuff like that's very weird. So I worked with this little guy, had a great nonverbal conversation with him, just a teeny tiny little thing. Now I'm going to tell the whole story. Jeez. Okay. So I worked with him a little bit, and there was some people perceive it as a vibration. Some people perceive it as heat. I could get like this close, and they can perceive it as heat. It's something that
Reiki.
I don't know. It's something that I believe can flow through us if we're in tune with it. So at one point, I felt good enough. I said, she said he may have to have a liver transplant. I said, whoa, okay. That sounds pretty serious to me. And how are you going to find a liver for some tiny little guy like that? But at one point, I said, okay. I felt comfortable enough to say it. I said, okay, he's fine. When they run the test tomorrow, they're not going to understand it, but they're going to see that he's okay. She says, okay. As I am leaving, so they've got to alienate a bunch of people here. They said, well, he had me up to that point, and then he got really weird on me. As I'm leaving, my sense of humor is to say to this nurse, whom I had met on the way in, well, I healed him. And when that thought was in my head, before it became verbalized, there was another booming voice that came into my head that said, don't you dare take credit. For what just happened. Woo! I said, okay, I got it. So I said, thank you, and just left. I said, whoa, that was amazing. Got a phone call the next day. She said, she says, they did all the tests. Everything's normal. They don't understand it. Yes. Was it me? No. Even with my ego, no, that wasn't me. Do I understand it? Not really. Not really. I have my ideas, but so now you probably know where the thing where the thing was going. Yeah, thank you. Got it. Where it was going with the person whom you had mentioned, and that's as much as I'm doing on that stuff. Ask me if there's evil in the world. Yes, I've seen it.
Yeah.
Whoa. So I've seen good, I've seen evil.
I believe in that too.
Wow. There's so much stuff we don't know. So much we don't know.
Yeah,
Now,
absolutely.
ask me a wrestling question so I can get on wrestling and get out of here.
Okay. Well, let's see. Zmiz, do you have anything right off the top of your head, or
I can't think of anything else, man.
well,
And I'm racially in that state of mind right now, so he's already
right, yeah, because I'm
Okay.
also
Okay.
trying to think of it. I mean,
got-
obviously you're donning the tights up in Waterloo. So have you had a chance to look at the current product today between with WWE and after the change now that the big man's been out? If so, I mean, is in your opinion, is it watchable for you enough, or do you just don't want to bother watching it at all?
Maybe I should give it a chance, but it's not something that's of interest. I occasionally will DVR it, and then it takes less than 15 minutes to fast forward through, and a lot of times I find nothing that I want to stop and watch. It's not what it used to be. Sometimes there's something good, so I should go back and give it a chance. I'll probably be sorely disappointed because when you come from the background that I do, working with the best in the world, and then watching people who are, it's like, I'm watching this academy. I'm working with this Academy Award-winning actor, and it's just brilliant. There's magic. Oh, now I've got to work with this person who's probably should still be in acting school. I mean, they're doing it, and they've got some fans and stuff. But so maybe I'm being too harsh. I don't know. I'll give you something though, something different. There was a fellow by the name of Jack Lemmon, an actor, many years ago.
Oh
Before
yeah,
too.
yeah, Jeff.
Jack Lemmon, before he would do a scene, he would turn his back to the camera. He would whisper something. Now, this is brilliant, and it can change your lives if you get it. And I'm not explaining it. You'll either get it or you won't. Jack Lemmon turned his back, and he would say something sort of mumbling under his breath. Then he would turn back around. He would be brilliant. My friend Joel Coleman was directing him a long time ago, and Joel said, Mr. Lemmon, I noticed that you turn your back and you say something. Is it okay if I ask about that? He says, oh, my dear boy, of course. He says, well, what do you say? He says, I turn my back to the camera and I say, magic time. Magic time. How brilliant that is. How brilliant that is for the wrestling community, how brilliant that is for the acting community, because if we are, most people, we are judging ourselves as we are there. If I'm judging myself, I cannot be connected with you. If I'm working with you in front of the camera, that camera disappears. You become the most important thing there is, and the total concentration of attention away from myself directly on you. That's called the creative source of acting. I totally believe everything is real. Totally believe that it's real. And I don't judge myself, because then the judgment is going to be, oh, I wonder if they're going to perceive this as real. Should I have cried at that point? No, now you've lost a connection. But if you allow the magic to come through, now that's brilliant. That means you don't have to judge. You just allow. You've got a lot of energy. Your barriers are totally down, so you're vulnerable. Scary, huh? Wow. And then you let the magic happen. These people in the wrestling business, a lot of the people who are newer in the business, they have no idea how to make that connection. I was doing color commentary recently, so as not to give it away totally. And my play-by-play guy, we've got two wrestlers in the ring, and I wrote something so they wouldn't hear it. I wrote something. I said, "Who's the bad guy?" Basically, see, I'm so old school. I still use that terminology. You want to say who's the heel? Fine. Who's the bad guy? Yeah, that's how old school.
I feel I'll go there. Go.
I protect the business so much, still do. Yeah. Why'd you leave him lying in a heap of just with bloody mess? You left him. I was protecting the business. Well, Rock, that doesn't work anymore. Oh, sorry. Just lost the train of thought one more time. So bring me back. Nobody remembers, huh?
You're writing something down.
Oh, so I wanted to know who's the good guy, who's the bad guy, and his response was, "I have no idea." How sad. If someone has never seen me before, has no idea who I am, curtain opens, they feel that energy. They know that I am looking down my nose like they all smell bad, and I'm making eye contact with them, and they are scum, and I am, etc. They'll get it. They'll hate my guts. And it's I've got only a few seconds to make that first impression. So as soon as they see me, they dislike me. That's great. But now it's like, here come cookie cutter wrestlers. Who do we cheer for? Do we have an emotional connection with anybody? Do we care? No. Do we care who wins? No. I was at a wrestling school Saturday. Today's Sunday. Yesterday. Wow, so much has happened in the last 2 days. And I brought a couple of people out, and I said, okay, the rest of you've never seen these guys before. You're seeing them now for the first time. In fact, you two, go back. You're going to come through the curtain. They're going to see you for the first time. You're going to come in the ring. You're going to circle around and maybe tie up, and then we'll probably break. I have them do this. I do this at a lot of places. And I ask them, because after they've come to the almost tying up, I usually break it there. And sometimes they go ahead and tie up, and they'll say, fine, stop. Okay. Tell me about this guy. Is anyone intimidated by the other? Yes. Okay. Why? Who? How do you know? Who's going to win this match? Usually 95% will say this person, because it's so obvious. Why? Because he has confidence. Okay. Do either of them have an amateur background? Why? How do you know? All they did was tie up. How do you know? Do you have an emotional connection with either of them? Do you care who wins? Do you care who loses? Do you care about this match? Do you want to see this match? Or do you want to see the next one? Next one. Okay. We're hiring. Is this someone that we want to hire? We're at one of the major promotions. We're scouting. Are either of these of interest? No, of course not. Next. Show me somebody who has personality. Show me someone who's not a cookie cutter wrestler doing the same thing that everybody else does. That doesn't work. Oh, wow. Here's someone who can do a double backflip. Woo. I did not come to see a gymnastics routine. I did not come to see a dance recital. This is called professional wrestling. And if you understand it, you get it. It's just amazing. It's like we said before, we stand them up, bring them to the edge of the seats, push them back, sit them back down at will. It is so much more than, okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, what do I do after 3? Oh yeah, push this arm out of the way, and then I do this. I've watched at different schools where they're doing something and they're counting 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. And I said, okay. And I'm watching it saying, what are they doing? I've never seen anything like this. I know the move. They say, Rock, do you want to do this? I said, well, if we can throw away the numbers, I know how to do it. I'll just come in and do it. But if I had to go numbers, and then it would probably look pretty bad. Okay, come in and do it. Boom. Okay, yeah, that's the way it's done. Yeah, but how do I teach it? I wouldn't teach it by the numbers.
Right.
Anything else in closing, gentlemen? Because I'm going to get out of here and have my dinner.
No.
You have a good one, my brother.
No, yeah, you're all good. Like I said, and I was just leaving this one thing that it's always important to engage your audience. Whether you are a good guy or a bad guy, you've got to engage your audience, because there's a reason why they've paid to come see a show, and that is they want to be involved too. They do want to be involved. So
of course, they're living vicariously through us, guys and gals, boys and girls, and everybody at the boys in business.
Yeah, they want to see everybody do like their move sets and not pay attention to them. They go see Ringling Brothers or whatever, Moolah Circus or whatever that's in town. You know, there's room for that. There's a trapeze act or whatever. You know, like I said, professional wrestling is professional wrestling, and we are definitely different creatures for that. So,
study psychology.
Absolutely.
Study human psychology. Understand how to tell a story. When I write press releases, I'm also a publicist. I do, a few things. I'm very good. It takes me 4 days to write a 420 word press release, because every word has to be perfect. It's not so much writing it, it's rewriting it and getting the perfect headline and getting people to read it. There are tens of thousands of press releases probably every day. I've hit number one several times, the most read press release within the week that it's released, a couple within the month, and I think I hit number 16 in a year, one particular year. Just amazing stuff. And I ask people, most press releases are boring. I'm comparing wrestlers with press releases right now. Most press releases are absolutely, totally boring. So we have a television station, for example, and we need a story. We want someone to interview. We need to build our viewership. We're going through all the press releases to see if we can find something. Boring, boring, boring. Hate it, hate it. Whoa, there's a headline that grabbed us. Oh, there's a subheading that, oh, wow. Okay, now let's start reading. Fascinating. Wow, okay. I want to see more. Oh, they left me hanging. Okay, how do I look at all these links. I can trace these links now, and I can find out more. I ask people about press releases. I'll show a couple that I wrote, for example. And I said, do you know why these got within the top 10 of the most read press releases in the last month? Why? Because they do exactly what really good professional wrestlers do. They tell a story.
That's right.
That's the whole.
That's it.
Business. We want to. Everything has to have a beginning, a middle, and end. You know?
Yep. Exactly.
The point is, do whatever you want to do, but there are wrestlers I would pay to see. There are wrestlers, if I didn't have to be there, they could not pay me enough to come watch them. I get invited, for example, when WWE is going to be at in Anaheim, California, for example. They said, Rock, come on down, you be our guest, and we'll sit you in this VIP section, and you can come in the back, come on in the dressing room, say hello to all the boys and stuff. I said, nope. No, thank you. No, I cannot do it. For me to sit ringside and watch my home, the ring is my home, I would have tears coming down my face. Well, I understand then. Well, you come in the dressing room. No. If I'm a part of this, I'll be in the dressing room, I'll be in the ring, whatever. But no, I'm not coming in as an outsider as a fan, as a Mizark, as anything. I mean, I can't do it. Sorry. You want me to come do a match for you? Fine. Want me to come do commentary? Fine. You want me to manage? Oh, man, I was nominated for Academy. I'm not Academy Award. I was nominated for a Hall of Fame for managing. Yeah. Another story for another day.
There you go.
Time for dinner. Hey, where's my money?
Well, yeah. Well, yeah.
I was teaching class for the late Rick Drayson, and I had a compliment because I did something. I walked on a guy's face in the ring, and afterward, Rick said, "Thanks, Rick. We're teaching today, and I got one question for you." I said, "What's that, Rick?" He says, "The thing when you walked on his face?" I said, "Yeah." He says, "How did you do that?" And this is a guy who worked in WWF. And he asked me that. That was a great, great compliment. Also, he had his lady friend sitting there watching. And as I'm talking to the boys, I'm saying, "This is your money maker right here." And I said, "It's all, you can intimidate." And I looked at her. And she says, "Rick, he's scaring me." I said, "Thank you." Ta-da.
Exactly.
One of the biggest wrestlers in this business. He was doing an interview, and I cannot, and it's not working. So was some superstar person came up to me and said, "Rock, does he scare you?" I said, "No." He says, "Aha." I said, "You want me to step in?" He says, "Please." So I did this to him. Big monster. And he said the same thing. He says, "Rock, you're scaring me." I said, "Thank you. Now that's what you do. You look into the camera, you look through it, you look into the souls of the people. You grab them by the throat, you grab them by the heart. You give them an experience."
That's right.
Yeah, that's about all I have for now. Except, let me tell you, give you 3 days worth of additional information. The Rock Riddle Benevolent Fund. Send your money in.
Thank you so much, Rock.
Yeah, I mean, we do have your email, so
Yeah,
and the real one too. So
the PayPal thing that works.
I get you. I get you.
Yep.
I get you.
You don't know how to end this, do you?
No, I don't know. It's been a long day for me, but that's okay. No, because we got actually a tad bit to touch on after because then we're going.
How can you possibly follow Rock Riddle?
We can't. That's why.
Hey,
but we got to touch on our announcements so people know about what we're doing this coming weekend. And
they don't care. Tell them what Rock's doing. Okay, so I was sitting at my home. I had a bunch of producer friends over, including some multiple award winners. My ex, I had a speakerphone, and I had her on the phone, and she's in Australia. And one of the things, after people say hello and what have you, I said to her, mentioned her name, and said, "Do you know what it sounds like to be hung up on?" She says, "No." I went, click. See, that's how you should end the show. And Rock Riddle, we'd like to say goodbye. Boop. And you make it obvious that you're pressing the button that makes me go.
Yeah, well, we just do fade outs, but before we do it, I mean, I'm not that rude, but
be rude. It's fun. I told one person I had ridden with somebody else. We went to a red carpet world premiere thing, and I told them, I said, "Here's the funny thing. You guys come out before I do. When I come out, open the door, have someone open the door for me. When I start to go in, take off. Just go like 15, 20 feet down the road. Not far. And then look at me and smile. And then open the door again. I come and you do it again. And I come and you do it again. And then the last time you go out of sight." So I'm standing there not knowing what the heck is going on. You pull over, you give it 5 minutes, you go around the block, and then you pick me up. And it's funny. I don't mind being the butt of the joke. I think that's fantastic. Anyway, goodbye.
Well, we'll have a great dinner. I want to say thank you again for
I thought they'd never leave.
Yeah.
Thanks again for what?
I want to thank you for indulging us with all the great stories. And
it ain't free. You got to send money.
Well, I will go back and I'm going to go back and look at it. So I'm going to go back and look at it. So
yeah, you're very welcome. It's been a pleasure. Your pleasure more than mine. But what are you laughing at? Why don't you make yourself big so I can see you better?
Oh man, I get you. Well, we're gonna pan out to something else, but we do thank you very much for joining us. And like I said, if I could, well, I'm not going to say that because
it.
Waterloo is on the same day as my anniversary. And
so what?
Yeah.
I'm
about ready to say that too. So
good. Now that you've said it, I know she doesn't watch this because she thinks it's beneath her, and she thinks you're wasting your whole life. You're wasting your time doing this. It doesn't make you any money, only costs you money that you could have put aside to spend on her. They're a dime a dozen. Come on, they're all trouble. Get a new one. Hey, anyone who is in your life, here's last words of wisdom. Final words of wisdom. Anyone at all who is in your life who is not contributing toward you attaining everything you've ever wanted in life, dump them, fire them. You're going to have to anyway. Find someone who's supportive. Find a rich one who'll support you. I'm still looking.
Goodness gracious. Oh, man.
They're all, you tell me they're not all trouble, huh?
Oh, I never said that.
I just saw something on Facebook. Of course, I get a lot of my wisdom from there. And it talked about, if I can recall it, it talked about someone who was talking to God and who had been a wonderful person all of his life. And God said, what can I do for you? I don't usually do this, but I'm going to give you like one thing. And he says, build me a bridge. How about build me a bridge to Hawaii? And God said, yes, I can do it. That's a pretty tall order. That involves so many thousands of tons of concrete and all that sort of thing. I'll do it, but do you have anything else? He says, explain women to me. He says, do you want that 2-lane or 4-lane? Understanding men, understanding women. Rock, help me with this. I'm having trouble with this. Okay, I'll fix it. No, I don't want you to fix it. Wait. You've got something broken and you don't want it fixed. Yes, I want it fixed. But you don't want me to fix it. No, I want. You just don't understand. Okay, let's see. You want to tell me something's wrong, but you don't want me to fix it, but you want me to sit by and act as though I'm really engrossed in a conversation of you telling me how horrible this is, that it's not fixed. Yeah. Okay, got it.
Oh my gosh.
And on that note.
On that note. But no.
I thought they'd never leave.
Everybody remember rockriddle.info, everybody. That's where you can see
I thought they'd never leave.
Is it wrong that he reminds me of Ralph or Alf?
What now?
Alf.
What did I miss?
Don't worry, just go.
Hey, I've been kicked off much better shows than this, I'll tell you.
Rock,
I appreciate you, man.
We appreciate you very, very much. And thanks again for doing this, man. I appreciate it.
Hey, do you know what it feels like? I have to figure out how to stop this. Stop. Stop virtual camera. Do you know what it feels like?
Boom.
Okay. There we go.
I'll help you out, Rock.
There you go.
Don't forget to get the merch. Oh, crap. Wrong side.
It's all right.
Oh, my God. Rock is great. I love him so much.
He's great. He puts you in spots. It's like, what do I do?
Chalk this up to me just going later, bro.
Right.
We love you, Rock. Oh, perfect. That's a. By the way, I'm sorry for messing up my comments, but that man had me all over the place.
Oh my goodness. Hey, yeah, make sure you get your shirts here. I meant to show this earlier, but I wasn't ready in time, and God, who would have ever funked it? But oh, by the way, you always come mentioning yours. I'm going to step back. Look at this.
Yeah, I almost said something the first time, like when we got on. Yeah, new shirt. Look at that. It's so sexy.
Let me tell you.
Awoke Affiliates. Shout out again.
Yeah, Woke Affiliates. Yes. Hey, Terry Russell, man, you guys are the bomb. Yeah. That's no, I'm telling you, man. These shirts. And I told him this the other day, and I told him that this is probably the best shirt I have ever had put out, period. This beats cotton. This beats anything screen print. This is not a screen print, guys. This is an actually made jersey tee.
Yep.
There's a reason why they are more expensive than cotton, but they're not that much more expensive, and it's going to help support with it. They're going to last too. If you wash it, I literally got these shirt. I mean, I got my shirt. I literally did because I'm so careful with it. I actually did like a 5-minute hand, like sink wash, like a walleye wash, wrang it out, and I let it dry the entire day. That's what I did because that's how much.
I love mine.
Like, this is the holy grail of all my laundry right here. Is this shirt, and I'm going to be sporting it this weekend down at Paragould, Arkansas, and. He's going to have his too. So
yep.
We're going to be shirt twins. I don't care. You can be a shirt twin with us. You can be triplets, quadruplets, whatever.
Quadruplets.
Sextuplets, I don't care. Let's make it work.
This ain't cheaper by the dozen, bro.
Cheaper by the dozen, that's for damn sure. But make sure you're scanning this QR code to either one. Support We Talk Wrestling, support Falls Count everywhere. We are doing big things and just keeping the ball rolling, guys. So that's all. That's going to be
2 baller shirts. And over there, don't forget that the Prairie Dog affiliate shirt that I have is there, but there is the We Talk Wrestling logos in 3 different colors: purple, teal, and black. If not mistaken.
And that's going to be my next one. Because I want to support the purple, but I just want the logo. Nothing against the Prairie Dog.
Hey, no problem, man. That's my affiliate bros. Them dudes are my dudes.
Yeah,
Terry's my brother.
Yeah, but no, I'm gonna get my We Talk Wrestling. Let me tell you, it's almost. I mean, I don't know. I just can't get over how comfortable the shirt is, man. I
do want me a We Talk Wrestling one too. I might have to buy my own shirt.
I'm gonna have to buy. Yeah, I'm gonna be buying yours too. So it's like, hey, let's support each other, man. And like I said, Z's already invested enough. He's he put his investment in with the Falls Count everywhere, and he's gonna be getting his tee next week when I see him. So, and we're gonna be supporting the thing Saturday. Remember, guys, that ticker that's been going across. Saturday is our next episode. So we're actually not doing a Sunday show. We're doing a Saturday show.
During the afternoon.
Yes, because it is going to be the event is from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. on that Saturday.
So, like, you know how we do this is like us having a Halloween episode early.
Yeah,
and it's so freaking fitting because I keep seeing all these like new memes out that like it's July 5th, Halloween.
Right.
Instead of like Christmas.
Somebody put in the other day, it was like 25 weeks till Christmas. I'm like, get out. Get out.
So like, Halloween's finally getting this thing, and we're going to go hang out here. I can't wait to talk like the fans to see what horror figures and stuff that, in wrestling molded so well with that like community. Because let's face it, I don't care what anyone says, this Hyomania thing is going to be freaking awesome. The Scare Fest is going to be super off the chain, because this is the merging of two different worlds, and this needs to happen more. We need more of this where, like, oh, we got this nerd convention here, but wrestling's not involved. We need wrestling more involved in those nerd conventions, because wrestling goes hand in hand with everything nerdy, and I don't care if that offends anyone, because that's what I love about wrestling, is just how awesomely communal it actually is. If you guys would all realize, I've met 95% of my friends standing in a line for a wrestling show. Just saying. There's something to it, man, in that community, and seeing how it bridges over into the horror community is going to be awesome. I can't wait for this. My favorite dad and EC3 is going to be there.
Right, exactly. And also the return of Ari Alexander will be there too.
And she was on our show.
Yep.
So we get to visit with her, and I can't wait. That's going to be so amazing.
We saw her down in
April. So girly there for a minute.
We were down at Corning, Arkansas for their April show, and she was down there.
But we didn't get to visit much. We got to visit a little bit. Yeah.
So, but no, she'll be back down. And like I said, this is put on by Inhumane Championship Wrestling. Let's hit a few of those matches again. Once again, Jeremy Travis, which is one of their big talents there, facing off against Heath. That's going to be a really good match. And
Sorry,
a big NWA World Heavyweight Championship match between EC3 defending against former ICW champ Bam Bam Baker. B3 going to be hitting that. I believe that's going to be a
banger
match.
Yeah, that's going to be a banger.
That's going to be a banger one. But I have to bring this up though.
What?
That's the 7-man gauntlet match for the first ever Hyomania Cup.
Ruby better be bringing that home, dude. Wouldn't it be awesome? Our first time. Guys,
like, hey, the closest you're going to get to this cup is if you come back down on Saturday at the Hyomania. And you can, from our table, and you can get your picture done with that saying, "Hey, I lost to this guy." So
yeah, that's what it should be. So then Danny Ice's little dirty butt has to come hang out with us and be like in our glory, and yes, anything to make him miserable.
Exactly. And of course, once again, this is us. This is our official poster that's going to be, I think they put in the program, but we got a banner that we'll be showing. And like I said, it's live every Sunday at 9 p.m. Central. That's how we usually are. But like I said, it's going to be Saturday. That's going to be our show for the weekend. We're going to be taking next Sunday off because we're going to be pretty busy come Friday and Saturday. We're going to be traveling back on Sunday, and we want to take it easy, relax, and just take gather ourselves before we hit back and go at it again on our following Sunday episode, which will be on July 21st. So that's going to be awesome, man. I'm looking forward.
I can't wait. Excited. And we get a road trip together.
Yep, another one, man. Yeah, road trip together. We're going to be hanging out at the hotel. Hey,
Wally's, here I come.
Shoot. So why don't we just? I know we've done quite a bit here tonight. What we'll do is whatever we can here. The recap of Money in the Bank. Here's the one I want to start off with. I'm kind of disappointed in this. I really am, and I'll tell you the reason why. Because Money in the Bank to me is a staple of helping pushing somebody to that next level. To me, they put this to help with the freaking storyline, and it basically got captured that night. And thanks to this individual, it's no longer valid because Drew cashed in during Damian Priest and Seth Rollins match, and CM Punk decided to take matters in his own hands, surprise him, and totally annihilate Drew. And once it's a triple threat match, they make it a triple threat match. Of course, it's no disqualification. That's why he came in. It did all that he did. And then also something happened with the post show with Drew coming in and berating Adam Pearce, and then of course elbowing Adam Pearce, and
now he's
Adam Pearce.
suspended.
Yep, Adam Pearce took. Yeah, he's suspended indefinitely, but also Adam Pearce went on to say on social media that not only is he finding Drew McIntyre, but he's also finding CM Punk too.
Correct. Yeah.
Which I'm not really.
I'm all for this storyline, bro. This is great. And why does the title? They gave the damn briefcase to Brock Lesnar, and he made it the coolest thing in the world. Maybe they weren't ready for somebody in the men's division to go up to or there's other storylines that need to be told. Like, I'm okay with it being used like that. This elevated it. And think about this. This is one thing people forget too. The Money in the Bank match alone has been around significantly in a short time frame, but in a long time frame at the same time, if that makes any sense.
Money in the Bank, yeah. Well, it was first
on WrestleMania.
It was inducted in WrestleMania 21 back in 2005, so it's been around. But
how many storylines can they do around that one with the guy that doesn't get it all the time finally got it? You know, like I was still rooting for Jay. Don't get me wrong. I was still rooting for my boy. But
yeah,
I'm okay with everything that happened. It progressed all the storyline. My bigger question is who missed the mark on the was Drew's music supposed to interrupt the ref, or was Ian Priest supposed to kick out? Seth Rollins not the real champion? Are we going to see it ran back? Because I'm kind of like, bruh.
Apparently the kick out that the referee saw that we didn't. So, you know.
Or does Canada just always get screwed?
That's going to be on Botchamania 496. So, I mean.
Okay. Real talk here. Overall, Money in the Bank was definitely a strong C+ for me. Like that's all it was. It wasn't the stellar show that it should have been, could have been. Everything hit its mark. Don't get me wrong. The show was enjoyable. It was fun. I didn't have an issue with it. The women's Money in the Bank match, my dude. That match was hitting on all cylinders. Them women killed it. They did great. Chelsea Green is a goddamn gift to this earth. But it is Tiffy time, and I'm all about that. So, all in all, those women killed it. They did some unique spots that only female probably could pull off, not the men. I mean, Ricochet could have if he would have stayed. Like, there's ways around it. But best Money in the Bank match of the weekend of that night. Sorry, the men and the women. Women get the win for me.
Yeah, I mean, Sammy and Braun were really good. I was
expecting more.
It was a little bit more, but I did like the ending.
Oh, the match was good too. I mean, like I said, the match, the pay-per-view all around was good. It just didn't have that feeling, you know, like it was. I'm sorry, but it's a downer. I mean, we're not even probably to it. I'm just gonna grace over Money in the Bank, right? Not stick to a formula on it, but like, I'm kind of sad about Cena announcing his retirement. Like, and I've just enjoyed not liking that guy. Like, that's, if that makes any weird sense, because like he's the guy that I made fun of because I was an Orton Edge kid. You know, those were my dudes, Edge and Orton. Like, not this guy, this goofball with the Fruity Pebbles. No, like, but Cena was good. And he's going to leave a hole that I did not think was there. And him announcing it just kind of sucks. Like, I wish he just would have faded away, kind of thing. Like, could we just get that wrestler that doesn't like have to say it? Like, sometimes you don't want to see your heroes or your villains, in this case, put up their cape, man. And that's what Cena is to so many people. And like, it's kind of bummed. Like, this whole show just didn't have the oomph because there were so many.
I know.
But Solo and them coming out that dub.
The bloodline coming out with the W, which I'm kind of shocked. Actually, as far as
the low blow, though. I'm sorry.
Punch Tonga right in the freaking head.
And this gets me in trouble anywhere down the road with a certain wrestler in person that I'm sorry, but he punched his own brother in the head. Kevin sold it so well.
He totally decked him. He looked pretty good. Kevin did not shove, but he totally punched him in the forehead. It was like I'm like, oh my god, you're gonna concuss him from trying to save you.
It just shows you that not everyone can be perfect. So when you're dogging yourself at the local shows, when we mess up just a little bit, that happened in plain sight. You can't miss it. But I still respect the work that everybody did. Like, I enjoyed the pay-per-view, but once again, I just don't think it had the oomph to get a nice B. Like, that's all I'm saying. Like, it's a strong C for me.
No, I totally get it. Yeah, like so this was. I'm really happy about this here, and I'm Chelsea Green take it. Going back to the women's match, I'm telling you, I don't know how many more vicious high neck and low head back bumps that Zoe Stark could take, but that woman took a lot of beating. She took a lot of falls in that match. She was beat up, bro.
She reminds me of Jazz, and I love it.
Oh my gosh!
Keep going.
She got her butt handed to her, bro.
Keep going, bro.
Yeah, she got her butt handed to her.
She's going to feel it in the morning, but keep going.
Yeah, no kidding.
I love Zoe Stark, though. I was actually pleased with this whole women's Money in the Bank. Like, everybody in it felt like they belonged. I don't care what anyone says. Naomi's still killer. The rear view, still goofy. But like I love all the women in that match, and they sold it. They destroyed the match. Hats off.
Yeah, and then like this whole weekend in Toronto, like tonight was the cap, and like we said it before, we're gonna say it again. Look at this.
Yes. I'm so pumped for this, dude. And in the manner that the ending was so like that match was actually good for a fatal 4-way. You know how like fatal 4-ways can be like,
oh no, that
was a good fatal 4-way. Like fatal 4-ways are hit and miss. You having that kind of a dance is different, and like everybody they killed it. Everybody got in great maneuvers. Like the show, like just top to bottom, that was a great match. But Ethan getting knocked over and landing on Javon Evans. Ooh.
Oh my god. I mean, that was just vicious.
The bump to the table, bro.
That bump, that was pretty intense for what they did. And man, hats off to them. I mean, what an ending though, with Trick hitting 2 trick shots, and then he hit a trick shot on Ethan Page landing on Javon Evans, and then Sean Spears trips him from the outside, pulling him out, and then Ethan Page is laying on top of Javon, not just like a crucifix lay, knocked out for the moment, and getting that pinfall. I mean, just to see Trick watch his dreams just slip away as champ, because he could do nothing about it. I mean, what a way to get! It's a suck way to take a loss.
I am so pumped for this. Like, you have no idea how like high hopes I have for this man, and the fact that like it still boggles my mind. And this is one thing that you all need to remember, okay? Because it can go like that quickly. I went to a Glory Pro show to see the Lucha Bros.
Yeah.
That was it. We didn't know much about the promotion. It was a local promotion down in the St. Louis area. This is, SICW. I like all these local promotions we talk about, okay? Anything can happen. People can get put to the right people and all that kind of stuff, and you can see great things happen. it makes me so happy to see this man with this title and watching him from his toy hunts on YouTube and doing that kind of stuff to watching him as a professional wrestler and him grow from Glory Pro, because I am not kidding you. God is my witness. Okay, I went for the Lucha Bros, but I stayed in that wrestling thing because of Ethan Page and Rohit Raju.
Yeah.
Were two of the dudes that blew my mind out of the water, and to see him succeed, and man, my damn cat's back, makes me so happy. Sorry, but Ethan, like I am so pumped for this. Like the guy's me so good. Get him with Xavier Woods too.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah. Here's another reason I think cats are cute, but I will not own one because things will start messing up your set. so
we know the culprit and the bad guy right now. Get down, girl.
No, I want it.
I love
Oh
my cats.
my god!
But no, I love Ethan Page. Dude, I'm so pumped. Like they had my heart. Like they weren't going to do it. Don't get me wrong. I love Trick. So run them back. But like, this is going to be awesome to see, and I can't wait for him to step fully into his own.
Man, yeah, I get it. And it's going to be
overall the card was good too, except for one match.
Oh yeah, the NXT Women's Title. Yeah, like I said, there's at least one or two people that think there should be in that. Not Roxanne Perez, needs to find a way to get the throne, but Lola Vice was not the way to go. No. But I'm still an advocate for Jada Parker.
I'm down with that. Lash Legend, man. Give me some more Lash.
Yeah, Lash is okay, but I prefer Jada.
I know everybody doesn't like her voice. I love Jada. Don't get me wrong. I'm in it with Jada.
And something. Where did I see the other day? Was it? You might have seen it too. Going back to NXT Battleground, with the special host, Sexy Red.
Mm-hmm.
I think only 35% of her tickets through the entire tour have only been sold. There's nothing. That's it. And she's made thinking about canceling her tour.
Oh man, that's not cool.
That's not cool. That sucks. But like you said, Sexy Red's not my cup of tea, and I think there's about 65% of people who are potential buyers see that too. So I mean, and which kind of sucks. But it is the way it is. But man, we've had a long night, man, and I appreciate everybody here. But like I said,
who won? X, you are the winners
X
for another week.
X, yes, X did it again. I don't know.
Why did I get Exhibit's freaking entrance music? Like Exhibit's X is going to give it to you.
Oh yeah, DMX with X going to give it to you.
Well,
shoot, Exhibit, man. I think that's the guy who does Pimp My Ride.
DMX is the other one. Oh. X is going to give it to you.
Yeah.
DMX and X Exhibit are two different people. Exhibit,
yes. Yeah. Way.
Am I right?
Way different people, but no, man, we're excited. As like I said, this Saturday we're going to emanate from Paragould, Arkansas, on Saturday afternoon, early Saturday afternoon at noon Central Time. Well, the reason why is because it's from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. that day. And like I said, 6 p.m. comes around, then Hyomania shut down for the rest of the weekend. So we're going to get down there when we can on Friday, maybe do a little mingling, but Saturday is a big day down there. And then we'll return back in studio because that'll be officially episode number 154, because we're going to try to think of some good how horror and wrestling have we're going to kind of talk about that. And then maybe even some of the guys that were there, who knows, we might even get if somebody's floating by and one of the vendors or the guests, if they want to stop by, they're more than welcome to. We don't know how long we're going to go. I mean, we'd like to go at least a couple hours, but we'll see. Probably not as long as tonight, but we'll go long enough. So,
I mean, Herb warned us.
Yeah, we were warned. I didn't know, but I didn't really know.
I wasn't ready.
Yeah, we were ready.
He wasn't ready.
Any other final thoughts before we wrap up?
No, it's gonna be an exciting month. That's all I can say.
Oh boy, yeah, it's gonna be a banger. That's for sure. Always a banger. We're always still banger after banger.
More of like a
banger. Oh shoot! I still gotta make an outro. God, me and my life.
Seamus, burger after burger after burger.
Yeah,
I don't know. I kind of like this. This is kind of fun.
This past week was burrito after burrito after, but that's a different story.
Yeah. El Magnifico. If that's your real name.
Yeah, part of the leader of the Taco World Order. Yes.
The burritos after burritos after.
Oh my gosh. Well, we're gonna go ahead and get out of here, guys. We thank you very much for joining us for the Gem City Mouse Zmiz. I am Rough Cut Rick Ruby. We'll see you on Saturday from High Mania 2. Take care, and we'll see you this coming weekend. Have a good night.
Bye-bye.